Yeah. Oh wait, let me turn that off. Go ahead and minimize that. Okie dokie, we all streamy. I think everything worked perfectly this time, which is pretty nice. Boop. Let me pull up this. Boop. All right. Now to get the chats out. Now to get the chats out. Just waiting for people to come on. I think I got everything set up so far. Just kind of debating what to do at the moment while waiting for the others to hop in the stream. Oh, yep, I need to do that as well. I need to advertise it over there. To the Deconstruction Junction, a haven for all atheists. Oop. All right. Alright, now I'll just wait for people to come up, and we'll see how it goes. I will pull up a YouTube video or something. And here's the ice cream. Huh? Maybe I should actually mute my mic while I eat this, to be honest.
Like, what's the problem with xenophobic nationalism? Don't you think that's better for Americans in general?
To be xenophobic nationalism is better.
We should have a coherent culture. Everyone should be a part of the same culture.
Which, do you get to choose what the culture is?
We already have.
Thanks, coffee. Yeah, I'll see you in a bit.
A dominant culture.
I mean, look, I got to be honest with you. Like, you and I have a fundamental disagreement. We will never see eye to eye on this. Hi, I'm Sam Cedar, host of the Majority Report, and today I am surrounded by 20 conservatives. My first claim is Trump's attack on DEI hides his real goal, which is to give corporations more power.
I'm not sure if Jubilee would give me a copy strike. I don't, funny enough, I don't think it will, because it didn't before, so I think I'm safe watching this on the stream. I mean, I can always edit it out, but if it's going to end up being like a big part of the stream, it's going to really cut down the video. And, I'm also going to be looking to make some new clips, shorts, if those come up, so we'll see how it goes. But for anyone who's just coming in, you'll have his... Oh, Sam Cedar. Wait, does he do voice acting? Wait, who's he? He is an American and political commentator. Let's see. Let's look at his roles. Let's see. Who's the caboose? Bob's Burgers. He's Harold. Okay, so it doesn't actually have that many voice. Well, I mean, he's big on Bob's Burgers, I guess. Gee, wait, Bob's Burgers been out for 13 years? Are you kidding me? That's wild. I did not know that. Yeah, he plays Harold, the popcorn guy, and Hugo. Apparently. Also on Home Movies. Yep, there's Home Movies. I don't think I ever watched this. No, I never did watch Home Movies, really. But that's a callback. That is a callback. Damn. Let's see, anything else that I recognize anyway? I've heard of Spin City. Huh. No, he's... Let's see. Lucy, the Daughter of the Devil, in between 2005 2007. He was in 11 episodes for that. As Special Father number 2. Let's see. The Good Fight. He was in 1 episode. So, yeah, mostly Bob's Burgers seems to be like his biggest thing. 38 episodes. That's kind of interesting. He's directed some stuff. He directed A Bad Situationist, Pilot Season, I'm with Busy, and Who's the Caboose. The only one that Pilot Season got a 7 out of 10. I'm with Busy got an 8.3 out of 10, which is good, but the others are in the 5s. That's rough. Anyway, yeah, people seem to really like this episode of Jubilee because it's Sam Cedar. Now I'm going to continue eating my ice cream and mute my mic while I do so, and then I'm going to continue the video. If I want to react, I'll just unmute my mic and say something.
All right. Sorry, Sam.
No worries.
All right. I think I have a slight issue with the back end of the premise. I guess Trump's attacks on DEI being a real goal to, give corporations more power. I'd rather center the conversation around the democratic, especially as conservatives, the issues that people have with DEI and why I believe Trump would, want to support the issues that, people are voting for him for.
I mean, I'm talking about his whole
Right.
attack on DEI. It's actually DEIA,
Sure.
right? You know that.
Right.
In government agencies. The A being for accessibility.
Right. Yeah, and I think the attack on DEI isn't an attack on people's protections. It's on the other end of the spectrum, right? Wanting to end DEI doesn't want to end protections for someone being disabled, someone being, in.
So I'm assuming Sam Cedar is going to touch on this subject with DEI. A lot of people on the right, a lot of conservatives tend to, give me a sec. I need to close the door. Yeah. Okay. So I don't actually know a lot about DEI. Don't get me wrong, but DEI's concept was to basically make sure that like everyone has a more or less even playing field, and what a lot of conservatives think it is it's giving advantage to those we would consider minority groups. He thinks it's actually just straight up entirely better for them, that they're getting all the advantages, etc., and they're getting more advantages than they did, and I think that's the point. To try and make it as much of an even playing field as possible. There are some places do have like their own DEI systems. Obviously, like Target got rid of theirs, and there was a big backlash for that. So really, it's just kind of a Sam runs into a precept. Oh, I believe it. I mean, everyone can run into a precept, right? So yeah, as I said, I'm not like huge on the details of DEI, but basically it's like we're trying to make it an even playing field, and they think it's not an even playing field. They think now white men are getting disenfranchised, which, by the way, fun fact, the people that were getting helped the most by DEI was white women. So
inaccessible to get into a job. It rather wants to de-incentivize corporations to push them to hire these people on unfair bases, right?
Okay, but DEIA
Right.
is not about quotas or anything like that. It is about protections for people within these organizations, or to make sure that you have different communities that
Right.
have the opportunity to apply to these things.
Right.
So it can mean, within government agencies, it means things like, let's pay interns so that not only wealthy people can have their kids do internships in these agencies.
Right. And
or let's put out notices around different parts of town,
Sure.
metaphorically speaking, so that people know this job exists.
Right. This is where it begins, but this isn't the ultimate goal that conservatives have an issue with. Conservatives don't have an issue with
give me 1 second. I need to actually pull up the chat on YouTube. I think that would be a good idea. No, I don't want to do that. So it's so annoying. There we go.
conservatives have an issue with. Conservatives
Yeah. Shush me. So we go ahead and pop out the YouTube chat just in case anyone does end up coming by here. That'd be great. Boop. And you come over here. There we go.
trying to spread job applications to poorer communities.
Well,
so
then
everyone
why
gets,
rescind DEIA requirements in government agencies?
Because the problem with DEIA is there may not be like perceived actual number quotas, but that's what it devolves into, and especially with
Do
corporations,
you have
it
the
devolves.
evidence of that?
I mean, sure, we can look at corporations that are government agencies that are hiring people on not true proper bases. We can even look
Well,
at.
I mean,
we can even look at
would you
the
have
DNC's,
any evidence that that's happening?
Yeah, even the DNC's nomination of Kamala as president this year. There was no reason to nominate Kamala as she wasn't democratically selected. She wasn't. She was.
well,
She was 100% democratically selected. People had to vote her into her positions. No, she did not sleep her way up, nor could she sleep with that many people. Let's be honest. So now everything that, and this video is like 2 months old, so a lot of this might have been like more widely busted or disproven since then. But yeah, no, there's no evidence to suggest Kamala slept her way to the top or anything like that. That's just stupid.
Go through a single primary.
well,
None
wait
of
a
these
second.
things.
So you're saying that Kamala was the vice president of the United States after
Yes.
the president drops out 2 months before the convention. You think that's a DEI
She wasn't
hire?
Every presidential nominee is democratically selected to be the nominee for that
Do
party,
you realize
except
there were
for
not
Kamala
even
Harris.
primaries prior to 1972
Well,
in
sure,
the Democratic
but this
Party?
this isn't before
Well, I
1972.
understand, but what did
This
you
is,
think
know,
you were going to run primaries in those 2 months?
Well,
I mean,
sure,
Joe Biden should have dropped out
But even
3 years
even
ago, as far as I'm
before,
concerned.
well, sure, but even before, when Kamala was running in primaries, she didn't. She
Okay.
wasn't the next man up. None of this. She wasn't the next person.
Well, she
up.
was the vice president.
Right, of course, but
Yeah.
she.
So I don't know the process in and out for her becoming the Democratic candidate. However, the Democratic National Committee supported her. They put her up there. They voted for her to be put on that stage. You can argue maybe the common person didn't vote for that, but the common person also voted for a lot of the people that determined that she go up there. So
She wasn't
that
in
tiny
primaries.
detail. But
Right,
listen,
well,
aside from, I would have might have wanted a different
Absolutely.
candidate as well. But that has nothing to do with
I mean, realistically, if it is the case that it was just not good or like disingenuous on how she actually got put as the top candidate for the DNC, then I mean, realistically, you just bite the bullet, I guess. Again, I don't necessarily know all the legality behind it, but Sam could just kind of bite the bullet there. It's like that has nothing to do with the claim, right? Yeah, and you also wouldn't be able to prove that she was some sort of DEI pick or some bullshit. It's just weird.
With Trump rescinding orders that basically say you need to search for a wide range of candidates, not necessarily give any different benefits, but you need to make sure different communities have access to the awareness of this job. You need in your office accessibility for people who have physical handicaps.
Sure.
If you have folks who identify as as trans, you need to make it at least hospitable and not. This is all non-discriminatory stuff. That's what this is all about.
But you're cherry picking the portions of DEI that even conservatives don't have issues. Conservatives don't have issues with making workplaces.
So, this is one thing that really annoys me. And the conservatives are not the only ones that are necessarily guilty of this, I imagine, but like obviously it's been more apparent these past few months. But this guy is saying is like, oh, well, it did help those people, right? It's like, those are the parts we like. Then why did we get rid of the whole thing? Why don't we just make adjustments to it to make it better so there's at least something in place to help those people? They're just going for scorched earth with no safety net and just saying, fuck all the people that they do actually think it is helping. So it's so dumb. It's really dumb.
The whole DEI.
Yes. You're probably just going to hear me say something's really dumb a lot.
Apparatus within our government was a function of doing exactly what I said, had nothing to do with quotas.
It is unfortunate that those things get taken out, and there might not have been specific numerical quotas.
What else was he trying to take out?
It's trying to take out people getting jobs that don't deserve those jobs. People getting pushed into positions they have no qualification.
There is no evidence of what you just said happening in these government agencies.
That's not true at all. I mean, we're not allowed to sit here and have notes and numbers to pull up for you. You can't.
Give me one example.
You can't ask me to pull up numbers when I'm not able to sit here and look on a computer for you. But these are the problems that conservatives.
Sorry, you've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Thanks, ma'am.
That is one thing that I do hate about like this whole format. It's just kind of run and gun. People don't have their notes. They just kind of have to wing it. And obviously, like a lot of the people in this circle are probably not professional debaters or anything like that. Like I'm not even. So I mean, I've talked about it other times. I'm not a fan of Jubilee's format with this. It's like, oh, it's 20 Trump supporters take on one progressive. And it's like, it's a 20v1. It's just a bunch of 1v1s where people aren't necessarily going to be able to hash out an entire discussion or argument. So even if there is a good discussion going on, the people will just vote out their side of the interlocution. Is that a word? So I don't think this format's terribly productive. I think it's a way you can at least learn about maybe multiple positions on a subject potentially, whether or not they're strong. Because again, I don't know if it's going to go into enough detail to really determine if any of those positions are super strong, but boop, boop, boop.
See ya.
Okay.
People also don't seem to be as interested in this topic.
Roots issue with DEI isn't what the previous gentleman was trying to point. Conservatives aren't necessarily have issues with those things like accessibility to people who might need help. The issue is, and I kind of referred to this before, when you have agencies and systems, what tends to happen when you have government overreach, big government, is that
this
agencies and systems get abused.
He's dumb.
And I think unequivocally, DEI was heavily abused in practice. It was great in theory. It's idealistic, which is sure is fine, that a lot of people can get behind. But
I mean, does he have evidence of its misuse? like that's kind of, I mean, that's going to be one of the things. Like we're going to wait to see if they can actually provide evidence to show that maybe DEI wasn't doing as well as it claimed.
It was abused in a lot of ways. When you have actors, like we're in California right now, when you have actors, white male actors who are being told, we do not want white men, we're not gonna cast any white men, we only want this particular kind of gender, race, right? That is an abuse of a system. It's no longer fair, but more about just perpetuating one aspect of.
I think it's less that, it's just trying to make sure that not every single actor is like a white man. And then like certain positions are obviously going to be made for one or the other depending on the situation or depending on the plot or the setting or whatever. So,
you know, visual compelling aspects, because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is companies are going to say, well, we want to look the most diverse.
Okay, well,
and what that is, it's moral grandstanding. It's saying because we have more black women, we sell better.
So I think one of the things that DEI is trying to do is, like, for example, say you have two candidates that, you know, put in an application for the same exact position. They have the same exact skill set. You know, everything is identical in terms of the workforce. But now you see a name, and maybe that name sounds Latin, or, you know, maybe it's French, or it's a commonly used name for black people or whatever. And there are cases, and this has been proven, that some people will just automatically choose like a person with a quote unquote normal name over the other. And so what DEI is attempting to do is create a meritocratic system. That is specifically what its aim is. I think a lot of conservatives just don't understand that, or don't want to understand it. I'm not really sure. But hey, if there's anyone in the chat that wants to tell me otherwise, or say I'm just saying stupid shit repeatedly, just let me know.
Soda, like that.
I got you.
That is not.
Well, that's getting a little far afield from what Trump's DEI orders are. But yeah. I can tell you, as somebody.
Yeah, we're also not talking about the actual statement that he started with.
Who was a sitcom actor in the 90s, I would walk into a room and everybody I would see would look like me. And I was doing a second position, which doesn't even exist anymore, where you do 2 pilots a year.
Hey, Coffee, what's up? You good?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, oh, wait, hold on. You might not be able to hear
Oh,
me
I can't hear
Discord.
you. Hold up.
No, it's on me. It's on me. You can't tell yet, but it's on me. Hello.
There we go.
Yeah, it was me. I forgot to switch it over on Discord.
Big chill.
But it's working on the stream, so that's what matters.
Yeah. Wait, what? Yeah, no, you're right.
So, how's your day been? How are you doing?
It was a long day. It's raining up here, so.
Oh yeah, it's raining down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Virginia's been crazy with rain recently.
Last couple weeks has been a little nuts. Actually, what is what is the weather for Saturday? We have a community yard sale happening on Saturday, and ideally it's not going to be raining on Saturday. Okay, it looks like it's not going to be raining on Saturday. Cool. Works for me. So anyway, as you probably saw earlier when you were watching the stream, just currently watching the Sam Cedar Jubilee episode.
I love this one. This one was fun to listen to.
Let's see. I don't think I really have anyone watching right now. But hey, if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. We are still going to have fun either way. So, you ready to continue watching?
Yeah, let's do it.
And I was looking around basically every part of television when I was a kid. I was centered in some fashion. It was either this is about my mother, or this is about my father, or someone like me was centered. So, you know, we can argue as to whether or not Hollywood is overcorrected in some fashion. But on a governmental level, the DEIA directives that agencies were following for the past 4 years is nothing. I don't know what you mean by abuse on it, but there is no evidence that it was an affirmative action program in those instances. It was about anti-discrimination. You cannot discriminate against these people, and you want to open up opportunities for a broad swath of people. Again, the internship is like one of the most material things that exist there, where the idea that you need to pay interns. And that's important because you want low-income people to have the same sort of like opportunities to see these things as wealthy people. You know, my kids can maybe afford to do an internship for the summer instead of going to get a job.
I think what's happening is we're talking about two different things.
Well, again, but I'm talking about Trump's DEIA rescission is a way.
That's kind of true. Like, I know Sam Cedar's saying a lot right here, but yeah, no, like both or all the guests so far just avoided his initial claim, which is Trump's attacks on DEI hides his real goal, which is to give corporations more power, which I don't actually really know that, so.
Yeah, I need to get more,
Yeah.
Of basically driving people out of these agencies, making it
you're saying Trump specifically, and I understand why you're saying Trump, but I think the American people as a whole have kind of, and I won't say whole because obviously it's not 100%, but a majority of the American people have kind of rejected DEI because again,
I don't think a majority.
A majority has not rejected it.
That may be the case, honestly, but again, my point is we're talking about abuse of a system. What you're talking about is not necessarily what was happening. What people were seeing were.
What do you? Should I just call them like the guest speakers? Because Sam Cedar's technically also a guest speaker. The Trump supporter. Yeah. The Trump supporter. It's like Sam was trying to bring it back to his original claim, but then this guy is like, "Oh, but DEI bad." It's like. Address the claim. Address the claim.
Always address the claim.
Yeah.
Or, hey, because you're white, you can't do this. And liberals like to do this thing where they create systems, and then they created the whole idea of woke, and then they backed away, and then conservatives say woke, and then
wait, what?
No,
dude, that's literally the right.
Yeah, the conservatives came up with the woke stuff. They were the ones that came up with cultural Marxism.
God.
They came up with all of that. Now, like, I will say the left is like co-opted the phrase woke and turned it into their own thing, and I think that's funny and I like it. It's like, yeah, okay, we're woke, whatever. Because as far as we know, the definition of woke is generally a pretty morally good thing.
It's so ambiguous, though. It depends on the person who uses it, but the way I understand it, it's like, oh, damn, you're being inclusive? Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
Woke is, they created DEI. Biden literally said Kamala Harris is being chosen because she is a black woman, and then all of a sudden, Democrats for the rest after that said that's not why she was chosen, even though Biden literally said that, and then we have this...
I want to fact check that.
I couldn't love this anymore. Get the popcorn. I can't wait for more of these episodes. Clearly, there's a little sibling. You believe ran for president. She didn't get any votes. She
you don't even you didn't even show anything disingenuous. Guardian News.
By the way, I'm proud to be, as I said, the first vice president, first black woman, served with black.
Okay, that's actually kind of funny. He accidentally called himself the first black woman, which obviously is like, yeah, I'm not finding anything about this. Like, maybe, hold on. Kamala Harris gets confused when reporter asks about Biden picking her for running mate because she's black. Oh, this is Black Enterprise. Black Enterprise any good? Let's see. Boop. Black Enterprise magazine. Bias and credibility. Hi. Okay. Cool. I like to check all these things. Let's see. An interview with the New York Times went left when the reporter asked Vice President Kamala Harris about the theory of President Biden because she's black. Fox News reports, of course. Times reporter Astrid Herndon sat down with Harris in Chicago for an episode of yeah. Big Apple questions. Herndon says he came to the decision that he needed to choose a black woman. While that is obviously about you, it's not necessarily you personally, but your identity. How should it matter? Does it matter that that narrative has existed, that Biden needed to choose someone who was a black person, and should it matter? Harris said she didn't understand the question. Harris was then able to give a response. Kind of.
Oh, by the way, sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, you're good.
Maybe you should take out the capitalism and then the bring back from the topics until topic gets here, till Squid gets here.
I was thinking about that, but I'm also lazy.
Yeah, I just don't want someone calling in and we're like...
Yeah. I mean, I could probably talk about Abrego Garcia a little bit, but...
Oh, man, I couldn't.
Yeah, as I said, a little bit. I don't have, like, all the little law bits. It's like, I know these things. I would have to go pull up the proof. Which I don't have ready.
Who needs proof?
Who needs proof?
No one cares about that shit.
So I'll hold on to Abrego Garcia for now, at least, because maybe I can do something there. Or I'd be curious to see if I can. So, anyway, she responded, "It happened. I don't think it happened. I don't think. I honestly don't understand your question. Has it lingered? He chose a black woman. That woman is me, so I don't know that anything lingers about what he should choose. He has chosen. He asked me to join him on the ticket." Let's see. So basically, there were assumptions made that she was chosen only because she was black. It seems. Yeah. Which personally, I wouldn't actually be surprised if that was one of the reasons. But that's definitely not, like, the sole reason. Like, that's not the main reason. I'm pretty certain of that. I would imagine, anyway. So, but either way, there's nothing explicit that says this, so that's just an assumption. Regardless, there's nothing to back that up.
Yeah.
We have this cognitive dissonance as if we're not living in reality.
Biden wanted to make sure that there was some that
that's
there
ironic.
was an opportunity for a black woman to be his vice president.
But so why did Democrats move away from that and say no? It wasn't because she was a black woman.
I don't know
my point is
it's not because she's a black woman.
But that's what they said.
I mean, Sam should just like reject it. It was just like, yeah, that didn't happen. Well, but he might not know.
That's true.
But even still, that's not necessarily DEI anyway. So
I can agree that it's not because she's a black woman, but that's what they said. Why did they say that then?
No, because there are plenty of black women, right? Like, he could have picked anybody, but he picked specifically her. You're positing the idea that there wasn't a black woman who would have been qualified for that position.
No,
and I don't believe that.
No, that's not what conservatives aren't saying, that there aren't, because again, even in the Republican Party, right?
Conservatives voted against Kamala specifically because she was a woman. And, like, that's true. Like, we know that. So, like, what he just said doesn't work.
It never does.
Yeah, because he claims like, maybe he doesn't think that way. Sure, that'd be great. But you can't claim that for conservatives as a whole.
Right now, and in Trump's cabinet, there are people of color that Democrats pretend don't exist, like J.D. Vance's wife, and there's
J.D. Vance's wife is not in the cabinet.
No, but if J.D. Vance was a Democrat, his wife would be lauded all over everything because of her color of skin.
I'm not here to defend the Democrats' choice on every policy, but there is one party in this country that is identitarian. There is one party that is represented and it is homogenous, and it is the Republican Party. 85% of Republicans are white. That's just the reality of it.
So does that
Some
mean
people
that?
don't necessarily have a problem with that.
But here's the thing. You said even if let's just say, okay, that's true. 80% of Republicans are white. Does that mean that they're less moral? That they can't run they can't run an effective?
Did you just say yes? I wouldn't say that would make them less moral, but there might be a reason why that it's
correlation doesn't equal causation, but damn.
Yeah.
Government. What does race have to do? What does race have to do? Hold on. What does
Donald Trump didn't have to say, my vice president's going to be a white male.
No.
Because they all knew it was going to be.
No, this is the premise of DEI. What does race have to do with running an effective government? What does race have to do? If let's say DEI on the micro level.
I will tell you right now.
DEI on the micro level at McDonald's.
I'll tell you.
Am I going to get better nuggets?
Listen, I'll ask you a question.
If the cashier is black or white, what does that have to do with anything?
I'll tell you what it is. First of all, DEIA
I feel like it's self-defeating.
means that if you come into the
Sorry, I was typing something.
No, you're good. I feel like it's kind of self-defeating. If race doesn't matter, then what do you have a problem with this?
Yeah. Well, it's because I was like saying this earlier, but fuck, what I was gonna say. Or like I was saying this earlier, where it's like they think DEI is giving non-white men advantages, which is just not true.
Yeah.
It's like, well, so it's like trying to bring them up on the same level. It's trying to make it a meritocracy, right? Strictly a meritocracy. That is what DEI is doing, is they're trying to make it a meritocracy. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. Yes.
No, give me 1 sec.
There you go. Steffi says hi.
Hi, Steffi. I know I said that all jovial like, but I'm glad to hear from you. Sorry, I had to respond to someone in a pro-life server right quick, and then then proceed to tell him, okay, I'm gonna ignore you while I'm streaming.
That's
from now on.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Corporation. You're
He's someone who is yet to give me any solid argument.
You don't look like everybody else, or you don't have the same like physical abilities as everybody else, or you may require handles on the bathroom or whatever it is. That's what DEIA does. But does it make a government better if there's a broad representation of the people it's supposed to govern? Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Regardless of DEI, don't we already have things in our Constitution that protect people's rights, protects people?
No.
Yeah, I was about to say, no, not really. Like, there's like some things, but DEI goes deeper.
I like how he says, don't we? I'm like, do you not know?
Do you
like,
not
why
know?
Are you making,
yeah,
why are you making a claim? Well, he's not even making a claim. That's the problem. He's hinting at a claim, but he has no evidence to back it up on the spot. Just
yeah,
he's just reaching at straws.
That is also kind of like one of the issues I do, and I think we touched on this last time. Is like they don't have notes for this shit or anything, so it's not like they can, because it would take time to like look up sources and whatnot. But ideally, these people do know what they're gonna say coming in, or like have an idea. I'm not sure if they know what the claim is going to be though before coming in. I feel like they should know the claim coming in. I think that would be fairer, maybe. I don't know. Oh,
Good
also,
question.
I just thought of an idea for this pro-life guy.
What's up?
So I mentioned that I'm streaming. I can send you I can DM you a link to the stream if you'd like to debate us. Wait, let me make sure this guy is, yeah, it says he's 18 plus, so.
No, we do not.
We'll see if he responds.
Tell me what protects people from discrimination in housing and in work and hiring or getting loans. It's all statutes. It's all statutes. And in these government agencies, there was nothing except for that order. That's why Trump just rescinded it.
I'm gonna tap out because I think someone else has a better can defend that point specifically.
I actually appreciate that.
Oh no, like that concession is great.
Yeah, he's like, you know what, someone else.
It's actually refreshing.
Yeah, that's. I mean, like, this guy seems like he's smart. He seems like a pretty smart guy, so I don't know. Maybe it's just how he dresses. He dresses smartly.
Oh yeah.
It's like, that's got to be it.
Yeah, it always is, you know.
Better than me.
All right, please return to your seat.
Beep.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Okay. When it comes to DEI, essentially, if a person was not racist, he would hire someone regardless, right? So why would we need a policy to protect a person if we've moved past racism? So would you consider yourself racist?
Wait, did you say move past racism?
So why would we need a policy to protect a person if we've moved past racism?
Well, that's a hell of a presupposition. That's a hell of a claim. Can you back up that claim, sir? Can you prove that we moved past racism? I'm trying to get a debater in here now.
You're good. You're good.
Come on up, and we can tell you how we define atheism.
What about atheism?
So, like, he's like, oh, he's saying I would get, like, destroyed in he said you'd get cooked on theology, and he was responding to a message where I said, so it becomes a debate on theology, which I don't want to get into. He said you get cooked on theology is like, I mean, probably.
He has, well, no, that if he has to say you're going to get cooked on theology, if he uses that phrasing, he just knows buzzwords about theology.
Probably.
But cannot defend it. If you have to say, oh, you're going to get cooked on theology, and doesn't say anything about theology, then they have nothing.
So he claims he's on a different live. He's like, define atheism. I'm testing your knowledge. I don't have much.
Wait, he's saying define atheism?
He's saying define atheism, which I'm not going to give him the. I'm not going to.
Interesting definition. Usually, I actually don't think I've, other than like precepts. He might be a precept.
Oh, this
I think
guy,
he's a precept.
From what I can tell, this guy's not very bright. Like he legit has not like given a single like argument against any of my stuff that he said. He just makes assumptions and just calls me names. Like, actually, just earlier he called me Pol Pot.
What the fuck, dude? Wait, is he talking about the dictator?
Yeah. He said he said Hitler, Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot would have loved you. It's because I don't believe anyone can prove that human life has intrinsic moral value. Basically.
Dog, do you know how many fucking Christian dictators there were?
True. Hitler, for example.
Well,
he
definitely used theology to.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Fuck.
Actually, let me double.
It's
check.
like on their uniform or whatever. It's something about God. Even in like Mein Kampf or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so while Adolf Hitler was baptized and raised Catholic, his personal religious views and their role in his actions have been a matter of debate.
Yeah. But it's interesting how one can use theology.
Oh, he rejected core Christian doctrines and emphasized an Aryan Jesus, fighting against Jewish influence.
Oh, hell yeah.
So he at least used Christianity, whether or not he believed
It's funny,
in it,
Aryan Jesus is like a contradiction.
Yeah.
He was not white.
Yeah. Oh,
he was not white. So that's why I find it really funny.
So, privately, Hitler expressed disdain for Christianity, viewing it as weak and in conflict with his ideology.
I mean, he was homies with the Catholic Church.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and down here, historians generally agree that Hitler's relationship with Christianity was primarily opportunistic and strategic, which, honestly, I would believe that. I would believe that. 100%.
Oh, no, absolutely it was. Yeah, the Catholic Church didn't give a fuck about the Jewish people during then. Didn't give a fuck. You're like, all right, bro, you do you.
I mean, there's plenty of times the Catholics did not care about the Jews. There's been plenty of times where a lot of people didn't care about the Jews. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, they have a history. Pogroms is one.
There's a lot. There's a lot to go down to
Spain.
That. You know more than I do.
Kicked out of Europe. I have like a whole entire history, bro.
Damn.
I have like a big history. Anyway, you want to
continue?
Continue, or if you want to continue talking about this guy that you're talking
about.
I'm
just waiting for. Let's see. He said, "I'm in a different live. Define atheism. I'm testing your knowledge." I said I would be debating you on abortion, and are you watching or participating in that live? And then I tagged him. So, like, I mean, if he wants to watch another live, that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna say you need to come on our stream right now, right? Like, he can do what he wants. So, I'm pro-choice after all. Oh, he's responding. Anyway.
Would you consider yourself racist?
Wait, are you suggesting we've moved past racism?
Would you consider yourself racist?
Answer the question. He's saying define atheism. We can define it for you if you come up on the stream. Smiley face.
I consider myself, and sometimes I think we all practice like some form of, white supremacy. I think actually like we all do to some degree.
Well, I'm glad that you're saying that. So I guess going to the LGBT topic, it seems like it's very prevalent for you as an issue.
Well, it seems like a big issue. I mean, the Republican Party spent literally hundreds of millions of dollars demonizing trans people.
Well, the reason why they've done something like that, and I think
I don't even know if he knows what atheism is. He just asked, does God exist? Yes or no? I mean, not the Abrahamic one, right? At the very least, not the Abrahamic one. Coffee?
I'm sorry. Go. I was looking at some notes. What did you say?
He said. So he said divine atheism.
Oh, is this the guy? Is this the priest? Oh wait, no, it's not the precept.
This is the guy was the pro-lifer I was talking with. He said define atheism again. I said we could define it for you if you join us. And then he asked, does God exist? Yes or no? I was thinking of saying, well, at the very least, the Abrahamic God does not.
Yeah, I don't know how it could exist. Too many contradictions.
I'll follow it up with, so we'll say no. We do not believe he exists.
You're misconstruing the narrative. They haven't demonized them. They simply want protections back for their own children, because children are being stripped away from
Who's
their
their
parents.
own children? Wait, children are being stripped away from their parents?
Yes, due to AB 954, they've now included gender identity as a premise to.
What was it, AB 954? AB 954, as introduced, focuses on dependency and court-ordered services for children, particularly concerning parental involvement in child welfare. While AB 954 itself doesn't directly address gender identity, it has implications for how courts consider paternal affirmation of a child's gender identity in custody and visitation decisions. Okay, I mean... Makes sense. Well, I mean, I guess on the surface, to me, it makes sense because it's like maybe you have one parent, like maybe the child has realized they're trans, or maybe even they're a trans teen or something, and one parent supports them and will call them by their preferred pronouns, or maybe the other and maybe the other doesn't, right? So I think that's a worthwhile consideration, because the one who doesn't, that could be considered a form of abuse. At least at some point. At least that's what I would say on it. Did you zone out into something again?
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, my bad. I'm so
You're good,
sorry.
you're good,
I had
you're
a
good.
long day, and so I'm zoning
You're
out.
fine. You're fine. Take your time.
To remove and strip parental rights for children who maybe they are rejecting their gender ideology.
So, but you'd be okay with parents who agree with their children's doctors to provide gender-affirming care?
I do not agree with that. Do you?
I believe that parents who agree with their children's doctors to provide gender-affirming care.
I do.
All right, so I said another thing to him just to make sure he would understand if he did come up to us. Said, to be more specific, we would debate upon the claim that we believe the Abrahamic God to be evil if he were to exist.
Which also means it's a self-defeating. If you think God's all good,
yeah, exactly,
it's self-defeating.
Yeah, and so there's a contradiction. He doesn't exist. Anyway,
I wonder if he's so scared to debate on live that he feel like he can win.
He would
theology.
He would barely debate me over text. So
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he's trying to convince someone else. Maybe he's trying to convince someone else to come up.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
That'd be great.
That'd be really funny.
I think that would actually be kind of fun. I don't know how well I would do, but you have more practice in it, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. Yes.
I could probably handle myself. But...
Yeah. And of course, I'll be there. I'll have my little non-existent, as existent as the Abrahamic God pom poms in my hands.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I love that.
Got him.
God.
Hey.
Pun intended.
Pun intended.
Horrible pun intended.
Holy shit.
All right. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Okay, with parents who agree with their children's doctors to provide gender-affirming care.
I do not agree with that. Do you?
Why are you so offended by it?
I believe that parents...
I like how Sam C just caught off guard that the guy rejected it so wholeheartedly and full-heartedly.
And doctors can make those decisions with the kids.
If a child can't smoke, drink, or have sex before the age of 18, they should not be able to consent to a sex change. Now,
so this person does not understand what sex change is. Probably, I guarantee it.
In terms of a DEI initiative, the reason why there's military bans on trans women and trans men is because they do not have the ability to cooperate at a mental capacity.
Trans people have been in the military for quite a while now, and they've been doing fine. So...
Yeah, I don't know.
And this is
I've
before
never
the
heard
ban.
like a, yeah. I've never heard a story of like, oh, their hormones made them blow up their entire platoon.
Then maybe it would get into like the whole sexist thing. It's like, oh, women are too emotional, or they're on their.
They can't run a country.
It's that time of the month, therefore they can't do shit. It's like,
well, if we're talking about that, there's a biological rhythm per month that men go through as well, where emotions flare up.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'll have to make sure I get my sources on that, but
that's fun. It is interesting. Well, because I think I told you guys, and you guys didn't know that when trans women start taking HRT and stuff, that they actually end up getting like they actually get like intense periods. Like they'll get the cramping and everything. Obviously they don't bleed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but yeah, no, they will also end up getting those.
Oh, wow. Okay, so no, I was incorrect. Men do not experience monthly hormone fluctuations like women do. Instead, they have daily cycles where testosterone levels peak in the morning and decline throughout the day. Some studies suggest that men may experience seasonal variations in testosterone levels. That's interesting. So I was incorrect. I repeal my my claim.
Yeah, well, either way.
I'm glad I looked that up and did not spread misinformation.
Anyway, so he's still like trying to go to ask me a bunch of questions. I just said, do you want to talk with us about it or just waste time in here? He asked me, prove the world is independent of God using your worldview. It's like
he's a precept. That's a precept. The precepts are so fucking dumb. They actually don't know what they're talking about.
I just said also huge precept.
They're Phil bros. I mean, his whole entire worldview is self-defeating.
Yeah.
If God is all-powerful and has reasons above his own or above humans, then you don't have the ability to know whether or not.
Oh my God, he's
God
assuming
is not deceiving you.
He's assuming we believe in other gods.
Well,
I know he's just assuming everything. This is crazy. I really wish I could like put this on the stream, but that wouldn't be like full doxing, but like you'd see their name and everything, and like I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, don't do that. But I don't know. The whole entire position is self-defeating, because if you how do you know that what God is telling you is true? If it's like through revelation, how do you know what God is telling you is true?
See, this is why I'm trying to get him up here.
That's fine. We could just continue this. But I don't know, dude. He sounds like an asshole.
Should I tell him you really talk to him? Okay.
I don't want to talk to him. If he comes up, that's fine. But he sounds like an asshole who probably watches Darth Dawkins while he's falling asleep.
Probably.
So I'm not interested in talking to precepts. They're just assholes. And I don't want to be an asshole. I had to be with that anti-trans guy. I'm trying not to be. But like, oh my God. Anyway.
All right. And friend, I said my friend is not interested in talking with you based on what you said, so toodles. All right, so yep, we'll ignore him. Boop, boop.
Hormone treatment as
Anyway,
well as depression
I mean,
pills,
obviously I
as well as
still
different
want
mood
someone to
stabilizer pills.
debate against,
and
but...
so when you go out to combat, do you really think you're going to bring an ice cooler pack with your
hold on, sorry, I need to actually back this up.
If a child can't smoke, drink, or have sex before the age of 18, they should not be able to consent to a sex change.
Oh, yeah.
Military bans on trans women and trans men is because they do not have the ability.
This is before the ban on them, so this person was just straight up wrong here. They weren't banned from the military.
Well,
now they are.
Yeah, well, didn't Trump do it, or someone did it first? I think it was Trump, and then it got repealed, and then it got put on again, I think.
I'm not 100% sure what happened, but there were trans people in the military until recently. Until very recently, until Trump said they're banned. So this guy was just wrong. Just straight up.
To cooperate at a mental capacity when they're constantly undergoing hormone treatment, as well as depression pills, as well as different mood stabilizer pills. And so when you go out to combat, do you really think
there are people with mental illnesses in the... I'm not saying, trans is obviously not a mental illness, but like there are people with worse conditions in the military, so it's like I don't know what you're talking about.
you're going to bring an ice cooler pack with your
or with actually
hormone estrogen or whatever it may be while you're about to shoot someone of the opposing?
We do psych evals, or the military does psych evals. So like,
well, the executive orders that Trump gave were DEIA orders that had to do with agencies that have nothing to do with the military.
Yes, they do. Yes, they absolutely do.
Does USAID deal with the military?
Does it?
FDA?
The FDA,
they just revoked the ability of the Air Force to teach Air Force members about the Tuskegee Airmen.
Well,
that's fucked up.
What are we talking about here?
Okay, well...
Honestly, like, they're rewriting history.
Well, that's your perspective, right? But at the end of the day...
Perspective?
If a person...
Tuskegee Airmen, we can all agree, existed, right?
Just listen to
this.
Yes, if you were racist, right, and you were an employer, and if you wanted to absolutely be racist and exercise that, you would. I think DEI sort of prevents people from seeing the reality. If a person truly wanted to hire you based on your intellect, based on your skill set, they would. DEI essentially provides tax cuts. For the end of the year, when you create your tax returns, they give you a tax credit for hiring someone who is black or a person of color. I don't know if you knew that.
In these agencies?
In agencies and private
in government businesses? Agencies, they don't get tax cuts for hiring
Oh,
people.
this is so funny. Listen to this. This is so funny. Oh my God.
What? Like what's being said here?
Rewind it just a little bit. Just listen and watch Sam's face.
Yeah, he's just like, what?
It essentially provides tax cuts. For the end of the year, when you create your tax returns, they give you a tax credit for hiring someone who is black or a person of color.
He still has the theater kid in him. He's very emotive.
I love his eyebrows. He's like, they're so expressive.
I know, it's great. Oh, hold on.
They're
I want to
so
see
great.
what this kid said. Your friend is already stealing concept of evil and can't use his worldview, so I don't care what F tier thinks.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, we'll just ignore him.
Well, actually, I am using his worldview, technically.
Do you want me to let him know that?
Nah, it's fine. I don't have the energy to deal with a precept. It's just gonna go around circles.
Oh, well, I mean, we could just kick him as well.
Nah, it's fine. I don't have the mental capacity to deal with the precept right now. Yeah. Maybe some other time.
Okay.
Agencies?
In agencies and private
in government agencies, they don't get tax cuts for hiring people
and
of
the
color.
other thing I wanted
this is to protect people from discrimination.
The other thing I want to kind of state here is that I've realized that a lot of the times with the liberals is that you guys push for example, for DEI and people of Latino or Hispanic descent. And a lot of the times what you don't realize is you're actually doing more harm than good, by putting them in positions where you make them believe that it's based on the color of their skin. It's based on
DEIA does not is not.
It's based on merit. DEI emphasizes color, skin.
No, DEI emphasizes merit. This is the exact thing. This is the exact thing that conservatives have been spewing, but they don't understand it. It's so stupid and frustrating. I hate it.
Color,
no,
physical
attributes. It says that the people who work in your agency, it's about anti-discrimination.
Discrimination against what?
Against people who may have different cultural mores, may have different...
But that's irrelevant to a job, right? It should be based on merit. And that is the emphasis
people
here.
Get hired as a merit, but if the DEI, I'm talking about Trump's rescission of these orders on these agencies.
If you received a tax cut as an employer, wouldn't you hire a person of color?
Dude,
if you could pay them less?
Listen, we're talking about government agencies that do not get tax cuts. They don't. Government agencies.
They don't.
No,
yes, they do. They absolutely do.
I'm talking about
every private and public sector gets tax cuts when you hire a person of color.
Government agencies receive tax cuts. Because aren't government agencies funded by taxes? Government agencies are funded by taxes, aren't they?
Correct. That's why Sam is going like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How are you getting tax cuts? Like, you're being funded through taxpayer money.
Yeah, so
so having tax cuts
doesn't make sense.
Oh my god, tax cuts are for like citizens and stuff, and like corporations, stuff like that.
It's for the private sector, but not necessarily.
God.
So this guy's just dumb. Just straight up.
Government agencies don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
Government agencies operate are funded by the government.
That is not true. That is.
that is not true.
Jesus fucking Christ! I hate this guy. Is this the guy I'm talking with in the fucking Discord? The pro-lifer or some shit?
Not
Jesus
true.
Christ.
And you know what? I think
Sam's face just.
He's like, damn, I just lost brain cells.
Yeah. That's tragic. Oh yeah, should I just no, never mind. Well,
what's up?
I was gonna ask, like, should I send the stream link to the pro-lifer guy but just not pull him in?
Whatever you want, dude.
Yeah.
I just don't have the energy to talk to a precept today.
Yeah, no, I got you.
It's just the condescension and the talking over and the lack of answering questions. He's just gonna follow a script, and I don't
not here for it.
Yeah.
I said, in case you're curious still. Anyway, I'm such an asshole.
I love it.
I think the whole juxtapose of this entire conversation.
What month is this?
This is January.
Okay, so we can agree on that. The FDA does not pay taxes. It does not get a tax cut because it doesn't pay taxes. DEIA forces them as an agency to say, if you have a job opening, you must do your best efforts to make sure that every
I like that.
part
I love
of
me a
society...
buzzword. You must do your best effort.
Is that even a buzzword? You must?
No, a buzzword.
Yeah, this guy...
Make sure that every
I like that.
part
I love
of
me a
society...
buzzword. You must do your best effort.
The fuck is he talking about?
Okay, pause.
Because you feel like you have to. You're pressured to.
Just get the fuck out.
You shouldn't be pressured to hire someone based on skin color.
No, not to hire someone on skin color, but put up notice about that the job exists. Make sure that you put it in different communities so that you have as wide an application pool as possible.
And therefore you get tax cuts.
All right, return to
At
your seat.
the end of the year when you file taxes, you get a tax cut for hiring someone who speaks a
Please
different
return to your
language or
seat.
different skin color.
I don't know how to respond to that. How you doing?
So I want a little bit more clarification because I don't even know if we got it yet on which part benefits corporations. Like from your
This guy's actually addressing his claim. Holy shit.
That guy looks familiar.
Yeah, it's a fair amount of the same people. I think we saw him in the last one we were watching with the LGBT, pro-LGBT.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so agencies,
he's actually
the U.S. government agencies, the vast...
There's only like 2 minutes left on their timer, by the way. And it finally got there.
Majority of them. What they function to do is inhibit corporations from essentially externalizing their costs onto society.
Sure.
So the example would be, I used it before, but it's a good one. I'm making Teflon, C8, for instance, okay? And C8 is supposed to be burned because instead of like deposited because it's a forever chemical. And I can go out and instead of burning it, it's too expensive to burn it, I'm gonna dump it into a river. And the EPA comes in and says, like, you can't do that. We're gonna fine you. You're not allowed to do this. But what the company is doing when they do that is they're gonna take the profits that come with lowering their costs by dumping it into the river. And those costs are then borne by everybody who lives around that river. They're gonna get cancer, they're gonna get gastrointestinal problems, whatever it is. And society bears the cost of that.
Can you connect the dots for me, though? Because it sounds like we're talking about something completely different.
No. And so the DEIA stuff is just the beginning of demoralizing these agencies and trying to wreck them from the inside. It's all part of like Russell Votes thing, the OMB, the whole Schedule F where they get...
This feels a little like conspiracy-ish to me, but...
A little bit.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was true, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Rid of civil servants, and they demoralize people, and they don't want them to be able to function.
So then, would you agree if this is about demoralizing? I mean, over 75 million people voted for Trump, right? He won the popular vote. Do you not think that in part, you even said yourself that Americans don't really know what DEIA is, according to your definition of it?
Well,
according to his definition of it, I'm sure.
The definition is the definition. It's a fucking acronym.
Yeah.
It's definition of it.
Okay, well, I would argue that...
And then it also has, what do you... I forgot what it's called, but like when you make a business, you write down like a 1 to like 2 sentences. It's about your mission. Oh, wait, what was it? Mission statement.
Mission statement, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm assuming DEIA has a mission statement.
The average American is demoralized by what they've seen, the way that the government goes about their DEI policies and the military and other organizations, not just the military.
Please return to your seat.
Okay.
Dude, you know what's funny?
What's up?
Is that nobody ever heard about this shit till like recently, and now the outrage.
It's
so
like, we found out.
These people are mad. And it's
panic. I mean, it's just another one of the fake crises.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Is he even said that not a lot of people know about it.
Yeah.
But or know what the definition is, but they know about it and are mad about it.
Yep.
I just don't. Okay.
They probably just hear that diversity, equity, and inclusion, and they're probably like, "Oh, woke! It's woke! It's automatically bad!" And then they make assumptions about it, or presuppositions. Anyway, which if that one guy I was talking with in the pro-life server, if you're here, they do presuppositions too. You might get along.
Hey,
God.
Before we go any further, we want to take a moment to say thanks.
You know, it's funny, like, now that I, like, have this stream, it's like, I have more power.
Yes, you do.
Or something.
You have the power.
The power. Now, honestly, I'm probably more of a dick in text chat, if it gets to that.
so much to Straight Arrow News for powering the fact checks in this video. Straight Arrow News is an app and website that
there haven't been any fact checks.
The bar on journalism in its voting facts. Thanks again to Straight Arrow News.
You guys haven't even done any fact checks yet.
Dude, they barely do it. And what?
I think they've gotten better about it.
They don't even do it in the good part.
They're true. I think they've been getting like better at it apparently, or at least from like what comments were saying, because a lot of comments were like, "Hey, we want the fact checks. Like, get on that."
Dude, seriously, I want them.
It's like, yeah, give them to me.
My next claim is, unless you're a billionaire, a religious fundamentalist, or a xenophobic nationalist.
Unless you're a billionaire, religious fundamentalist, or a xenophobic nationalist, voting for Trump was a mistake.
Voting for Trump was a mistake.
I mean, even caught this guy in slow-mo. I mean, like, if you're a religious fundamentalist, I would say this is still a mistake.
Dog, look at that guy behind him.
That's what I'm saying.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, I got him. He's moving. He is moving. He has like the least direct approach to that other chair, but that man's going for it. Go, dude, go. He got it.
Okay.
Oh, it's him again.
What a G, actually.
Aspect, religious fundamentalists. What benefit would religious fundamentalists get? And also, can you define what is a religious fundamentalist?
And maybe you could say more of like a Christian nationalist.
Okay.
In this instance, but things like the attacks on trans folks, the attacks on a woman's right to choose, the idea that we're going to get stuff like an enhanced RFRA, which is going to mean that if you're a pharmacist and you don't want to provide birth control, you may not have to.
Don't you think you're assuming that
if you believe that public education, we should take that money and pour it into religious schools, you're gonna get a benefit out of a Trump administration.
Yeah, but don't you think you're assuming that the vast majority of Americans who are moderates?
Like, what do you think you're gonna get out of the Trump administration?
Wait, what?
Majority of Americans who are moderates.
Like, what do you think you're gonna get out of the Trump administration?
Economic relief. That was
economic relief, really.
What kind of economic relief? They're going to cut Social Security. You're going to have to pay for your parents. They're going to cut when they go after the agencies like they're going after, right? This is outlined in Project 2025. Russ Vought, who's going to be the OMB head, he was the OMB head the first time around. He wrote all the book on this stuff.
Okay, well, you bring up Project 2025.
When you cut agencies and go after them, and you fire all the inspector generals so that they're not being able to make sure that the agencies are working, who do you think profits from that? It's corporations. They're going to go after agencies that make sure your food is not full of botulism, that your air is not full of mercury, that your water is not full of C8. This is what they're going to do. Agencies exist to curb corporations from externalizing their costs and privatizing their profits. So it may be cheaper for a company to dump their chemicals into a river than it is for them to dispose of it in a safe way. And so they get the profits from that, but the costs are borne by society. They're borne by society in the form of like people get cancer. They're borne by society in terms of like we've got to do the cleanup. That's what agencies do.
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
That's hilarious. You didn't even get to say anything. You got destroyed.
I mean, like, ideally, I still want there to be a back and forth, right? And like, I hate it when people are getting voted out still.
It's so funny how they're clapping.
Yeah.
They voted him out, and they're clapping.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's just for the. I'm assuming Jubilee tells them to do that or something.
Maybe, yeah, probably. Yeah, you're right.
Hey. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so I would like to touch on the religious fundamentalist aspect.
Yeah.
Are you an atheist?
I'm a Reformed Jew.
Yes, this is a precept.
Oh, what, the other guy?
The guy who's talking. He's a precept. You could tell by the way he talks.
You can just tell, but hold on, I don't want to listen. I want to analyze that.
Meet you. Okay, so I would like to touch on the religious fundamentalist aspect.
Yeah.
Are you an atheist?
So is that the first red flag of a precept? No.
I mean, anyone could say that, but
Sure.
the fact that he's going in on it like right now, it's like
Well, he did say based on his religious fundamentalist thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know why being an atheist is like
would matter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, okay. All right, keep going.
Yeah.
I don't have a strong belief in the existence of God, but I don't think that religion in and of itself is bad.
Okay, so what's wrong with religious fundamentalists? So like when you said trans rights and women's rights or something like that?
Well, the problem I have with religious fundamentalists, and really more, I guess it's really theocrats, is that they want to impose their morality that comes from their religion on the rest of us, and I don't.
But morality, from your view, is going to be a preference, right? It's not morality.
I hate this dumb shit. Because guess what? Guess what your morality is? It's also a preference.
Yeah. I mean,
it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Like your book, your religion has a set of ethical rules to follow, and you choose to be under that. Therefore, it's your preference.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it's so stupid.
People choose which religion, and each religion has different doctrines about how 100%. To live life. So, in a way, it is subjective. Like,
I mean, I think morality is subjective.
Choosing objective.
Yeah. Basically.
It's a preference.
What's
So, morality without a foundation is going to reduce you to a preference.
Well, I have a foundation for my morality.
Which is what?
If he asked me that question, I'd be like, well, it's based upon my my culture, society, my personal experiences within that culture and society. Yeah, I mean, that's all you really have to say, to be honest. And then I'd be like, is that not the same as yours? Because what is so if this other guy, so he asked here,
it's going to reduce you to a preference. So morality without a foundation is going to reduce you to a preference.
Well, I have a foundation for my morality.
Which is what?
Which is what? And I would be like, oh,
that's how you know he's a precept.
Yeah.
It's the debate tab. Which what? Let him fucking talk.
Yeah, and well, even then, the answer I would give would be just like, oh yeah, based on my life experiences within my own culture and my own society, same exact as you. Is like the same exact thing you're doing, because religion is a cultural thing.
Well, he wants like a philosophical framework for morals. That's what he's gonna dive in on. That won't be,
Oh, I don't care if he doesn't like it. I'll be like, yours is the exact same. And can you prove to me otherwise? But, you know.
It's a humanist vision of what basically creates as little suffering as possible for as many people.
Okay, so you're like a consequentialist? Utilitarian?
Yeah, he is trying to do it.
I don't really bother myself with being a consequentialist or a utilitarian.
I kind of feel Sam here, to be honest.
He's just like, dude, that's not what's important.
Yeah,
don't fucking label me, dude.
Yeah, basically.
Always going to reduce you to a preference.
So he's a Phil bro.
That killing is wrong and I say it's right, you would really have no contention with that.
Well, no, I don't
that's
base
not,
my...
Sam, just reject his argument. That's not what you guys are talking about.
Understanding of civil society on religion. And so we have a civil society. Okay. We have laws that we have decided as a society in a democratic way. And for some people, it's okay for it to be informed by their religion. That's okay.
Okay, perfect. So if tomorrow society comes together and we say, hey, trans folks don't deserve rights, you would be okay with that?
No, I would be against it, but I mean it would be
morally right under your
not
view.
Morally right. No. I'm not talking about moral.
Yeah, I actually really hate this guy. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's dude. I mean,
he's
this
a
is
Phil
the
bro.
wrong place. This isn't the God topic.
Yeah, this isn't the God topic. This is not a philosophy state.
It's dumb.
Yeah. Okay, so here's where I'm getting to, right? Religious foundations provide an ethical framework for one to live their life off.
I believe you.
Okay, I'm with this guy, no matter what he says.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like so. It's in many cases it's more or less true that religions as a whole, because obviously religions borrow off other religions over time, that we've developed a lot of our ethical values in society upon views that are common in religion. I don't think, they're obviously not they're not the same thing, because obviously different religions have different ethical value systems, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them seem to work out more or less just fine. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, like, just because it's in religion doesn't mean it's religious, I guess.
Well, I mean, like, you would have to then
it's just an ethical value system.
God gave these.
Yeah. And then it's the
all
theology argument.
Religions are written by men, but they claim it's from a god. So
yeah.
Yeah,
it's just silly. It's like, and even if a lot of our foundational values were based off, like, allegedly, if they are based off of religious doctrine, specifically Christian, which Christianity borrowed from other religions, let's not get ahead of ourselves. It doesn't mean we need to keep with it. It doesn't mean we need it to still be Christianity. It's like, oh yeah, we like these certain values from that system, we'll hold on to those, right? It's like, we don't need the rest of it.
You can have an ethical framework without religion.
And if we take the leftist view,
you can 100% have an ethical value system without religion.
Its logical tail end, to its extreme view, you have low reproductive birth rates. You have a reproductive dead end, so two men together can't reproduce unless.
And who cares about that? That's a naturalistic fallacy, probably. I'm gonna guess. That's what he's gonna.
They have to take from a healthy straight couple. Religion provides this foundation where you do prioritize the nuclear family.
So do you have a problem with the...
We prioritize nuclear family? Are you kidding me? That's not a religious thing.
That's a fucking American thing.
Yeah, that's an American thing, and some other countries have probably co-opted it, but no, it's definitely not a religious thing. The nuclear family didn't exist until it was defined as the nuclear family. Before that, like, Jesus Christ, whatever.
With gay people being married?
It's not that I have a problem. I just don't see a justification for why they ought to be gay outside of it just feels good.
Wait, whoa.
I hate this
why they
motherfucker.
Ought to be gay?
This motherfucker.
Why ought they?
I'm so frustrated. I really wish Sam just rejected his whole argument. It's like, we're not talking about that. That would have been the best option, because now it's just getting into other territory, and this guy's trying to win something that's not even the point. This guy is probably just an egoist, is now kind of what I'm assuming. He's like, I want to talk about what I want to talk about. Let's get into it. He saw religious fundamentalists on the prompt. He's like, oh, that's it. It's my thing.
Yeah, I think he was just twiddling his thumbs and ignoring everything until the religious topic came up.
Pretty much.
Or not even religious topic. It's like the power dynamic.
I have to feed the cat. Be right back.
Go for it.
Yo.
All right, friends. Yeah.
It looks like we might have a bit of a slow stream today, but oh well.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right, whoever's here. I don't know who you are, but you're awesome. I don't know. Type in chat. We can talk. Right now, I'm just looking through my notes here. DEI was some shit, and then hold on, I'm actually curious. Hold on. Is that Squid? Did Squid join up?
It's me.
Hey, what's up, my friend? How you doing? How was your day?
Good. It was fine. I went to a museum and smelled a bunch of, fragrances. If I get, getting the job that I'm looking for. So been chill and productive.
Fucking love that.
Yeah.
When do you think you'll be able to hear back?
Well, to be fair, they said they would call me on Tuesday, and I didn't get a call. So then I didn't get a call today. But the other thing is, since it's retail, I just know that they take like forever to do. Like I'm used to people in retail telling me X will happen this day, and then that day passes.
Oh, absolutely.
But then, like, 4 days later, they're like, "Oh, so sorry about the whatever. Like, now we're ready to talk." And I'm like, "Okay."
Oh my God. One time, so before I got a job at I think was it Starbucks or Target? It doesn't matter. Like I called Kohl's. Do you live in an area where they have Kohl's?
Yeah, I know what Kohl's is.
Okay. So there's I applied to Kohl's, and I kid you not, 6 months later they come to me and like, "Hey, like, we saw your application. Do you still want to join?" I'm like, No, I don't.
Like, not at all. Wait, how long did it take for them to respond to you?
6 months.
Yep. That's what was happening when I was looking for jobs. I was like I'll still occasionally just get sometimes like, "Hey, we looked. Are you still interested?" Or, "Hey, we've moved on with the position." I'm like, I don't give a fuck anymore at this point.
Yeah. Dude, I might be dead by the time.
True.
Like, I might be fucking dead.
True. Anyway, so yeah, we just been watching another Jubilee thing, and this guy's a
This
fucking.
one's fun.
This
is a religion. Yeah.
He's
I
a
know
religious
Sam Cedar.
Yeah, Sam Cedar is fine. This guy.
The guy Sam Cedar's arguing against is a little kooky.
A little bit.
Yeah, all he is doing is bringing up religion and being a little bitch.
Yeah, I'll move that.
It would be morally right under your.
But Jesus.
Trans folks don't deserve.
We're living in a democratic way, and for some people, it's okay for it to be informed by their religion. That's okay.
Okay, perfect. So if tomorrow society comes together and we say, "Hey, trans folks don't deserve rights," you would be okay with that?
No, I would be against it, but I mean it would be.
It would be morally right under your.
Not
view.
morally right. No. I'm not talking about morals.
Okay,
here.
so here's where I'm getting to, right? Religious foundations provide an ethical framework for one to live their life off.
I
of.
believe
that still makes me
dumb.
And if we take the leftist view to its logical tail end, to its extreme view, you have low reproductive birth rates. You have a reproductive dead end, so two men together can't reproduce unless they have to take from a healthy straight couple. Religion provides this foundation where you do prioritize the nuclear family.
So do you have a problem with gay people being married?
It's not that I have a problem. I just don't see a justification for why they ought to be gay outside of it just feels good.
That's the problem. That's called having a problem with something.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I just don't think it should happen.
Yeah. It's like, well, then you clearly have a problem with it.
Yeah, you have a problem with it. No.
Why? Can you give me another justification for it?
Well, I think maybe that's the way they were born.
Okay, what about pedophiles? Are they born that way?
They may be, yeah.
Okay, so should we let a pedophile off the...
True, actually.
Yeah.
No, I think we as a society has decided...
Should implement duties to prevent them from acting on that innate urge, correct?
Well, I think...
And it doesn't have to be religious in nature to do that.
Also,
Like-
he's completely doing a category error. One's consensual, one's not.
Or it's not even,
Well, pedophilia, there are times where pedophilia is still consensual, quote unquote. But, like, obviously the argument is that like with statutory rape, they can't consent, yeah.
Yeah, no, they can't consent, so I don't think we could qualify that as consent.
Yeah.
They can claim that. The pedophiles can claim that, but
yeah,
doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Hold on. All right.
Between consenting adults, it's a different thing than...
Okay, so you're okay with a 45-year-old dad with a 19-year-old daughter as well? Incest.
No.
If they consent.
Sam Cedar, beta. The answer is yes.
It's not beneficial.
Right, there's duties and obligations that we have. So religion provides those duties.
Already.
Life isn't about freedom and exercising
right wingers wrecking him.
Well, you want to impose your religious doctrine
no, because
on me, and
you just
admitted
you just admitted we need duties.
What? Sorry, I was
Oh
responding
no,
to
it's just the fact that he's like talking about moral frameworks. But is it moral to put your religion onto someone else? Have your whole entire government based on your religion? Is that moral?
I mean, obviously Christians would think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the missionaries out. So.
Yeah.
This is why Christian nationalism is so spooky.
A little spooky boy.
Just a little scared.
We can watch that Michael Knowles fucking speech where he literally just says, "Yep, I'm a Christian." Like when he just said, "Yeah, I'm a Christian nationalist," I was like, "Oh, okay, I have to burn down the Daily Wire."
It's like, all right, time to burn it down.
Always
kill it. Yeah. Just kill it.
We have a responsibility as a society to keep us functioning, to keep us thriving.
But you probably don't believe in taxes. That's just an assumption, but I'm going to assume he doesn't believe in taxes.
Well, maybe
mostly joking.
The other, but the other problem is like he's a priori like assuming that religion is the only solution.
Yeah.
Being like, you guys aren't fucking enough, and so clearly you need to believe in God. As opposed to like maybe there is a positive correlation between like religious belief and procreation. Like that wouldn't surprise me. But you could still like come up with many hypotheticals to where you could like create a secular society that like promotes having children. Like that's not. This isn't like an either or. It's either like religion and babies or no religion, no babies. Like you can probably have no religion and babies.
Man, that's crazy.
It's called incentive, or something.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Just like give them tax incentives. Like provide daycare centers.
Like free education
shit like that.
Shit.
Oh, wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah, like you make Planned Parenthood give out diapers. I don't fucking know.
That'd be sick.
The liberal view doesn't provide anything besides it just makes me feel good. Religion does. So what's your argument?
What?
What's my argument as to why I don't want
you have no
your
contention.
Religion to
this?
Well, because the other, first of all,
I'm a little surprised so many people are actually trying to vote him out.
What God is telling us is right or wrong. And
I think most right wingers don't really want to be super religious. At least, again, I'm like. This is like high school right winger. The right wing has definitely changed quite a bit since I was more active in it. But at least when I was there, it was like very clear that the right was like not they were like religious, but they made an attempt to like justify everything non-religiously.
Yeah.
That's probably going away. Like
I mean, there's a niche. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just said it was unfortunate. I mean, it might make him just straight up. It's probably easier to just win an argument against that, but like the fact that it's coming to fruition is a problem.
Yeah.
What were you about to say, Coffee?
Oh, I was just about to say that there is a small group, a little niche group, Nietzsche, that are Republican and atheists.
Yeah, no, they exist.
So, yeah, they do exist. Which is interesting.
I don't know. Like,
I was one.
Yeah, it was like you could be like a libertarian that's a human. What's the? I forgot what it is. But you put like humanity.
A libertarian humanist.
Not even humanist. Just like it's like humans are better than everything.
Oh,
anyway,
I mean, I'm technically a human supremacist, but yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I guess I kind of get what you mean. Sure.
There's like another term that I used to use, but I forgot what it was.
Religions, and so my argument is, like you're
just
not
be
going
existentialist.
To keep halal or kosher, right? I mean, I don't believe that someone has a corner on religious truth. And the reason why we have a democracy is because we didn't want a king. And the kings came from the idea that their God said that they're the ones who's supposed to be king. And so we can disagree on this. I don't want to live in a country that is ruled by religious fundamentalism.
And if I do, you have no issue with that.
And no.
He has no issue with you having that personal opinion.
Yeah.
There's a difference between that.
I do have an issue.
Well,
with
sure.
That,
I mean, so do I. But you know,
the question is the underlying part of the question is like, do I think legally you should be punished for holding a wrong opinion? No.
No. Yeah. as a soon-to-be lawyer.
Yeah. No, I do not. Yeah, I don't think you should be thrown in jail for having wrong thought.
Yeah.
You're still thinking wrong though.
Yeah.
Unless you like Ayn Rand.
How dare you?
Then we might have.
I was an ex-subjectivist. How dare you?
Fair enough.
This is why I say, under Trump, yes, you have won.
Did I miss an Ayn Rand conversation?
Hmm?
Did I miss an Ayn Rand conversation, or was that?
No. He's just taking shots at Ayn Rand.
All right. That's fair enough.
You're right.
You have a Christian nationalist.
I hate this guy.
And
which is necessary.
And so
just say Christian nationalism is necessary.
Yeah. You have to understand, Christian nationalists believe that
they're perfect.
That or that being Christian and being American are like inherently linked, and that all of the founding fathers were like some denomination of Christian, and that like they infused this country with Christian values. So it's like super important that we maintain Christian values and like promote those dogmatically, which is like, again, it's whenever you say, it's like wrong, firstly, because whenever you just say founding fathers, like all the founding fathers, they believed in like God, but some of them were like Quakers, like the people who like shook when they, you know, when they prayed, and like some of them were Protestant. Like one of the, even if you acknowledge that it's like they were all denominations of Christianity, the idea that these were like people who agreed on what the doctrine was is just like wrong.
Yeah. And then a lot of them just never wanted to even talk about their religion outside. Like they purposely tried to avoid talking about religion on it. Yeah.
John Adams was a diehard Christian.
Sure.
Yeah, no. Well, and so George Washington was also a Christian, but again,
he like kept it to himself.
Yeah, or you can even find quotes, like you can find disparate quotes of George Washington being like, "Yes, the Christian ethic highly influenced our country." But like to say Christianity is the religion that should rule is like the First Amendment just like the first thing they wrote disagrees with you. Like your statement just like fundamentally makes no sense. Like it's
I think there's even like a quote from John Adams in like a treaty or something. There's some document where he even says like, oh yeah, like this is not an actual we aren't founded on Christianity.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, well, again, if you can find it, that doesn't like necessarily disprove their thesis. Well, it disproves their thesis insofar as you're just like, look, the founding fathers are not like one cohesive unit.
Yeah,
they're like a disparate group of people who like cobbled together a government to try to hold themselves together because there was 13 of them and they were all tiny and they didn't want to kill each other or get killed by somebody else. So they were like, holy shit, please. Like,
please, we need to form something right now. Or
something needs to happen, otherwise we are totally fucked. Like we need to work together, like or it's over. And so then to come in and be like, actually, it was God the whole time is kind of goofy. I mean, there's the Christian nationalist shit is actually like super. Like, did you know that the indivisible under God part in the national anthem. The under God part was added in the 50s.
Yeah, in response to the Cold War.
Not just that, it was because of a rising Christian nationalism. They like wanted to try to like inculcate it and be like, yeah, we are a Christian nation. Because think about it, that means for the majority of the country's history, we never said under God.
Found it. Holy shit.
Treaty of Tripoli, 1797. But as the government of the United States of America is not, in any sense, founded on the Christian religion, as it has in itself no character of enmity against the laws, religion, or tranquility of Mussulman, and as the said states never entered into any war or act of hostility against any I don't even know how to say this. Mahometan Nation. I don't know if that's like.
I have no idea.
Native Americans or something. I have no idea. It is declared by the parties that no pretext arising from religious opinion shall ever produce an interruption of the harmony existing between the two countries.
Can you send that to me?
Yeah, I got you.
In case I need to bring it up.
Hold on. I'll just keep on going. I'll send the link.
Gotcha.
I concede the point that under Trump, your Christian nationalism has gained an advantage under this.
Sorry, we're going to have more kids. We're going to have less abortions. We're going to have more family.
Abortions have actually gone up since the overturning of Roe v. Wade, so...
Goop them,
we're going to have
bitches.
stable family households. Sorry about better education.
People, gay people should be
not better education. That's a big goofy.
They should be silly.
They should be straight.
Women should be...
They should be straight. Did he just say... Wait.
Yeah.
Kids, we're going to have less abortions, we're going to have more family, we're going to have stable family households. Sorry about better education.
People, gay people should be outlawed.
They should be straight. They should
fucking
people just,
so fucking stupid.
They choose it, bro. Don't you get it?
When do you choose to be straight, sir?
Yeah. I mean, I chose to be bisexual. There was like when you turn like 12 or 13 puberty starts, you get to like choose, you get to press a button.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just like, yeah.
Who gave you the
I don't know.
button?
Maybe you guys didn't get a button, but I got a button.
No, I didn't.
I
see. Apparently, I didn't have a choice. My rights. Where are my rights?
See, that's the problem. You were deprived of your rights.
I want the right to be gay.
I want the right to be pan. To be honest.
Yeah.
I'd have so many options.
Women should be secondary to their husbands.
Women should submit to the husbands.
Women
that doesn't mean they are slaves.
Right. Oh my God.
It doesn't mean they are slaves. It means they are protected. Let me ask you.
Please vote him out.
Women be drafted? Should women be drafted?
Listen, I think
if they're equal, should they be drafted?
I think this is the vision.
Yes, obviously he thinks
they
should be drafted.
Supports it. Yes. I think the Christian nationalists he has throughout his government are all going to work towards your vision.
Yes.
And my hope is that when people look at this, they say, hey, wait a second. I don't want my life to be dictated by the notion of a Christian nationalist prescription. Now, you may win out. I mean, certainly, like if you look at a country like Iran, they have a theocracy there, and apparently that's good for them if they want it.
My final point is whenever
I don't want to live in a
My final point is whenever we see people live out Christian values to its full extent, we see a great society.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, it's like, can you point out an example?
Yeah, or like, what is that? I don't know, because everyone
What is a great society as well?
Yeah, or like everyone interprets it differently. So like, what's the?
When we see people deviate from that, that's where all the problems.
He's basically saying it's like, yes, Christian societies are good for Christians.
Yeah, he's just like he's just equating like Christian with good. That's all he's doing.
Problems arise.
All right,
I think you are at home in the Trump. Trump
Thank you very much.
You've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
That guy is gross.
Pretty cringe.
Sorry.
Yep, this guy again.
I think I have an issue with the implications of the prompt.
He's got the like nice guy stash. He's got the bread tuber look. What the fuck?
Stick on the religious fundamentalism.
You see the guy back here?
I'm talking about the guy who just sat down. That dude in the back. Yeah. That guy's fucking. I didn't even notice him. That's a
choice.
All right, that's a crazy guy. Yeah.
I could appreciate it.
I would have recommended he not dress like that. Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
I knew you were talking about this guy.
To view Christianity separated from the ideology that Christianity informs, right? You have an ideology that you vote upon because you view it to be the truth that benefits everyone in a society. That's how a democracy works. I, as a Christian, have an ideology that informs my opinions, and I believe that it is the most moral and correct way for a society to function.
I like how he at least said that. He's like, this forms my opinions, and it's my belief that that this is moral.
I just don't like it. This is the classic. No, here's my problem with right wingers when they say like, There's like a deep irony, I think, for right wingers who like claim the left is like super morally relativistic.
Oh yeah.
Is that they'll like have left wingers on, and I think, frankly, I think it's just to like whitewash them.
Oh, definitely.
Where they're like, they are actually the moral relativists, and they'll be like, they will invite everyone into their camp no matter what, because they just don't care, because they understand that like at the end of the day, as long as you just vote right wing, like the left wing people who get into it will always just be consumed anyway, so who fucking cares? Or when he says like, you have your ideology and I have mine, you know, we just disagree. It's like, but you don't.
But you like, really want to assimilate everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, but you don't understand. Like,
I'm just saying,
cool when it's
just ideas. These are decent words. How he's wording it is good.
I guess, but it's just like, maybe this is because
there's definitely something
you're still too cucked by relativism. Even though I'm also a moral anti-realist, I'm not cucked by anti-realism. I'm just like, fuck you. I made a decision.
Yeah. No, I'm
saying my thing is.
Look, I have a communications degree, so I'm like, oh, this guy, you know, the words he is saying in this particular way is okay, but you can obviously assume, and like I 100% assume like he's like assimilate. He just wants to. They just want to absorb everyone else to make them.
Yeah, he just says
unless they're not white, because then you lose the purity of the white race. Bullshit.
I don't know. Does he say that? That would be funny.
I don't know. I'm assuming he's not going to, but you know they do talk about that.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
So I think if we put religious fundamentalism in a box where you say any moral implications that I draw from this, you know, religion is unable to be voted upon, unable to be pushed onto you because simply it's a religion is unfair to view.
Great value share.
Religion is an ideology like all ideologies are. You know, it's you vote away.
I don't mind you. I don't dispute the idea that you could have a religious ideology and want to see it imposed upon others, and it's not inconsistent with my claim. My claim is that Donald Trump is ushering in an element of Christian theocracy that you know I can't remember his name, and you may be excited about, but I'm not excited about it. I don't think the vast majority of Americans are, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I don't think this country was set up to be a theocracy, and I find it problematic that it will be, but others will be happy about it.
I think it's unfair as
well. Oh yeah, his claim is unless you're a billionaire, religious fundamentalist, so maybe they'll actually get to that.
I mean, I see he's talking about the fundamentalists. Yeah, I don't even know, unless you're a billionaire, even that I don't even feel like it's true, because all of your fucking businesses are getting taxed like minimum 10% on like everything you're importing. So even that's like you're still getting.
Well, this did happen before that.
Oh, did it? Okay.
This video. Well, it says this video is 2 months ago, but we don't know when the actual discussion happened.
Yeah, when it was actually recorded.
Yeah. Post.
Yo, guys, I'm gonna hop off.
Alrighty.
Just so I can mentally calm myself down, you know.
Okay. Well, hope you feel better.
Oh, it's not even feeling better, dude. Just fucking work, you know.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Fucking work. All right, guys. I'm gonna be watching now. I'll be messaging on, and if some fucking bigot comes on, I'm jumping back on.
all right. Sounds good.
I don't care.
For sure.
All right, peace out, guys.
Later.
Later.
Get rid of that.
Well, to label any morals that comes from religion inherently immediately theocratic, like. Having a theocracy is something different than having.
I think love thy neighbor is a good precept, and I don't know that we should necessarily legislate it, but I think it's a good precept.
Forced
I think there
to
are
love.
things from religion that are good. I interviewed Desmond Tutu years ago, who said that religion can be. Is like a knife. It can be used to spread butter, or it could be used to stab people. But that doesn't mean that I want religious doctrine to be the same as the law of the land. We have a democracy, and it was founded on trying to get out from some type of like religious oppression, which means one religion shouldn't dominate in this country. That's my sense.
Yeah, and I see that, but I think I have an issue with where you would perceive religious doctrine is derived from, right? A guy doesn't, at least in Christianity, a guy doesn't go in a room and come out and say that he has a secret message from God that everyone now has to follow. Religious doctrine is ruled over, it's reasoned over, the same way any ideology is discussed.
The problem with grueling over it, though, is it only applies to the logic within that system.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's like that feels like it's true of like all systems.
Sure, but it really limits. It really limits the values.
Yeah,
the
I
ethics.
think the main problem with religion is like just specifically the concept of faith. You have like a thing built into it that negates criticism.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like what's like that's why it's just that's like the main reason why theology is like such a fucking useless conversation for like that I don't like doing.
Yeah,
but it's just like even if I win an argument or something, the person's just gonna be like, God is testing my faith, and then they're done. Who cares? So I'm just like, who cares? It's like it's not that I don't think they can't be religious anymore, but it's just like there's so much more work you have to do. It's like a disgusting amount of work.
That's why. And that's why, like, Coffee and I are like, God's evil if he exists.
Yeah.
And we argue on that. It's like, we're not trying to disprove he exists. We're just trying to say he's evil. And that's a lot easier.
Yeah. Well,
even if they don't believe it.
Well, because you can't disprove, because God has no evidence. That's
exactly.
the disproval.
Yeah.
But then that people think that people want us to go out into the universe and find a sign that says like God's not real.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Yeah, sign to the universe or something.
It's like, joke's on you. If he doesn't exist, there's nothing for us to disprove.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you just ask them like, prove unicorns exist.
Yeah.
And because there's more evidence for unicorns than there are fucking God. They're gonna be like, what do you mean? Like there is no evidence of unicorns.
No, wait. We got narwhals. Clearly, we can get unicorns.
If we work hard enough.
If we work hard enough, we can have unicorns. Unicorns can exist. Yeah, I would legit believe that before God.
Yeah, exactly. Like Bertrand Russell has a really good, I forget exactly what his quote is, but they're talking about, he's like, two people are in a garden talking. And one guy says like, wow, this garden is beautiful. Like somebody must have come in and maintain this garden, or like maintain this forest, not a garden. And he's like, oh, like who? And then the person's like, oh, well, I don't know who did it. It's like, oh, can we see them? It's like, no, we can't see them. It's like, oh, can we hear them? No, we can't hear them. Oh, like, can we smell them? It's like, no, you cannot perceive this person through any of your senses. But I know for a fact that this person is maintaining this forest. And then Bertrand Russell's like, well, if I can't see him, if I can't hear him, if I can't smell him, if I can't perceive him in any way, he probably just doesn't exist, and it's just a forest.
Yeah, and it's just a forest, yeah.
And it's just a forest.
It's photosynthesis.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the validity of religious doctrine. I'm talking about religious doctrine supplanting democracy and civil society.
Well, and I'm saying that religious doctrine is democratic inherently, and in the way that you.
Well, I mean, look, we can have a debate as to whether or not women should be subservient to men. I don't think they should be, and in a democracy, I don't think it's healthy.
Right, but when you said earlier with him that someone shouldn't have I don't know the exact word, like a chokehold on what is, you know, religious truth and what isn't religious truth. That's not how religious truth itself works, and that's not how religious truth is brought to the political table to have that work either, right?
I don't know. When Pete Hegseth is in a bar yelling, you know, we're going to kill all Muslims.
Well, that's, yeah.
I mean, well, yeah.
That's great. Did that actually happen?
I don't know. I mean, he is a drunk.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just going to assume it has, because that's funnier.
I mean, yeah, it's funny. Base spread misinformation.
The largest military in the history of the world. And I think, and he is informed by his Christian nationalism. I think that's a problem.
Right. Well, but
we can disagree on that.
Yeah, we don't take.
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority.
Thank you, Sam.
Return to your seat.
Is there anything else you wanted to watch in particular, or did you want to watch this?
Oh yeah, we can keep watching this. I'm just looking for the Pete. I'm just looking if there is anything on the
Pete's
Pete.
Hegseth. Yeah.
Pete Hegseth thing.
So that would be fun.
But yeah, we can keep. Well, like I've said, I mean, I would probably want to skip past if there's a part after religious fundamentalist part. I just don't I said, I just don't give a shit about.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh well.
It's just.
This guy.
We can do it. You can keep going. It's fine.
Well, let's see what this guy says, because he's really dumb. Like he was up here earlier. He's like, the government agencies, like FDA and stuff, get tax cuts when they hire a black person when they were talking about DEI.
I don't think that's true. You might get funding from the government if you follow certain DEI policies. That might be true.
No, he's saying the government agencies that are funded by taxes.
Yeah, well, because you can still basically there's this concept in law where if like a state doesn't follow certain laws, they don't get funds for this certain thing. So like one thing was like funding for like Medicare and Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
That was like linked to the government, to like the state governments. Like I forget exactly what they had to like do something to like ensure healthcare was given to all of its citizens. So low level healthcare was given to everybody, some shit like that. And then that was acceptable. And then like later down the line, they tried to like update Medicaid and Medicare, and then they attached more money to it, but then it was like, we'll get rid of all your money if you don't follow like with the new Medicaid, Medicare plan kind of stuff. So that is like, so like it could be that is being applied to like an agency where they have like, if you hit certain benchmarks,
you'll get more funding.
Like, you'll get slightly more funding. I don't know if that's true though. I can look it up real quick.
Yeah. Might be. I mean, I could see that being true for like certain things, at least. I don't know actually. Because like, what if your state is like 80-something% white, which I think like Wisconsin or Maine is.
Yeah, no, it would. Yeah. Frankly, most of our questions are actually answered. Like that's what I like about the law so much is you have all these questions.
Already got an answer.
Yeah, they've already solved like so many problems. Like all the that's the other thing that's why like I've told you, or maybe I haven't, I don't know. I have a friend who's like mega conspiracy brained who's also studying law, and I'm like genuinely confused how he's managed to maintain his conspiracy brain nature after going to law school. I'm like, bro, everything
impressive and awful.
Yeah, he still believes in like anti-vax, vaccine hesitancy bullshit. And I'm like, how? Like, how? This is the most like, law is the most like blue pilling profession, in my opinion, because you're just like, oh, everything has like an explanation. Like, this is why something happened. Like, even if it's bad, like, even if the law is stupid or something, there's still like generally a pretty intuitively reasoned out explanation for it.
Yeah, it was I was watching Legal Eagle a long time ago, and basically he was like, he was talking about how like pretty much all of Trump's lawyers were bad, and basically he mentions like, yeah, like all the good lawyers, Democrats.
Yeah,
pretty much,
because it's just it like, this doesn't make sense. Like,
it
just doesn't make sense for you to be like, wow, the government's out to get you and is like this horrible machine after you've like taken one constitutional law class and you're like, oh, this makes sense.
It's like, you know what? Maybe it's actually hard for them to do these things I think they're doing.
Yeah, like, oh, like, this all works out. I
like
get it.
nigh impossible.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Let alone to get the entire government to agree on something.
Oh yeah, well even that's like stupid. Like that's within the White House. There's people who like refuse to help each other. Like it's just a dumb assumption.
So, Eleazar mentioned his views on gay marriage, and I saw that you believe that essentially conservatives don't believe that gay marriage should be allowed.
He's gay, right?
I want to ask everybody in this room, is there any law or legislation that Donald Trump has passed to prohibit same-sex marriage in the last 4 years? Okay. Is there anyone in here who would potentially oppose two people kissing in public that are of the same sex? You could raise your hand if you want. Yes, in public, kissing in public. No law against it. Just your own opinion. Okay, so the
fucking prudes.
Keep the queers from kissing. That's pretty funny.
These are all people's opinions, right? The same way you have your opinions about Christians is the same way these people are allowed.
No, I don't have a problem with Christians.
Well, you do not believe that theology should be at its
we should not have a theocracy.
Correct. And so what I'm saying is, I think that Christianity, I'm a Catholic, I think that Christianity is, fundamental.
You see this guy in the back.
He's really, he's been making a lot of faces the whole time.
He's also
going crazy.
He's also a moron. I think you were there when we saw him in another video, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe he was also super dumb.
Fundamentally very important to instill family values in myself as well as every person who wants to have children. Now let's talk about.
I'm okay with that too.
Let's talk about Order 14,166. That is an executive order that Donald Trump just imposed on identifying what is male and female. So I personally believe, as well as many transsexuals, friends of mine, believe that a woman.
If you're friends if you're friends with trans people, you're probably not calling them transsexual.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's let him keep going. Who knows?
Female, as well as a man being a biological male. You are assigned what you are at birth. You are not assigned your gender later on. What you choose to express is something that is similar to wearing a garment, similar to what you decide to put on your face. And I don't think there should be laws or legislations dictating people or imposing laws to manipulate children, for example, to castrate their bodies at such a young age. 50% of children.
Do you know how many children are treated over the past 5 years? Let's say, I think it was.
It's so small. It's like less than like 10,000. It's like crazy small.
Yeah, let alone for like sex change operation, because you typically it's very, very rare that they do one under 18.
Yeah, no. Well, I even talked to because I didn't know. I was talking to like my like ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I was like I was telling her, because like we talk about trans shit every once in a while. I was telling her, I'm like, yeah, trans people. I'm basically against trans kids getting like sex changes unless they're like gonna or like going on hormone therapy, unless they're gonna like unless the like harm of sterilization or like messing with your puberty or whatever else is like lower than the harm that's gonna be caused by not transitioning. And she was literally like, oh yeah, I did that. Like I talked with a therapist and we had that conversation. I'm like, oh wait, so I was basically like, wait, we already make this like
just like
this calculation?
Just like that. I mean, so that's actually just how we weigh every single medication that we've ever created, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's same.
But I was just she was like, yeah, I talked with a therapist for like months before we did anything. I'm like, oh, okay, sounds like we're doing a good job. Like I was okay, cool. Guess we're doing a good job.
It's like we have everything in place. We're doing it already. It's been fine.
Yeah, like every single like hypothetical complaint people have about it is just like not real. Like it's just fake.
Exactly. So that's the funny part.
18 to 22, there was a study that just came out from Harvard. Do you know how many children received gender-affirming care, but broken down into
there was a cut
puberty blockers and then hormones?
Give me the numbers.
You tell me. I'm curious.
Well, I'm curious because you're bringing it up.
No, I have the numbers.
Okay,
Seffi, what's up?
I'm curious if you know.
Tell me what the numbers
are. I promise to tell you after you tell me what you think it is.
I'm not
gonna.
Coffee told me you said hi earlier, so I hope he told you I said hi back.
This game because I think you think it's much higher. When you tell me that kids are being castrated, I know you don't really know what these numbers are. And I do know these numbers.
Okay, well, I can tell you this much.
What?
It was reported that scientifically every single child who has received gender-affirming care, about roughly 50%
I won't put them in
of
timeout
them regret it. And 50% of them are suicidal because of it. They're actually more...
Studies on this subject often suffer from researcher bias and methodological errors, including inadequate follow-up to precise measurement and poorly chosen sample bases. Doctors agree more research is needed. More research is always needed, first of all. But, like, I mean, we have decent sample sizes at this point. We've been doing...
Well, I mean, if it's just saying that we don't know, because his point is that most kids, 50% of kids regret it, and then they're just saying, like, we don't know how many people regret it afterwards.
Yeah.
That's fine. Which is, like, fine, whatever. Like, again, whatever. Like, I just don't, like, that's, okay, crazy.
Coffee is sinless currently. Sure. I'll believe you for now.
We're depressed because of
it.
But
how many of those kids? How many?
A psychologist,
by the way. How many over the course of 5 years?
Well, tell me.
Bro, this guy wants to go. The dude in the back wants to go. It's so fucking
He really
bad.
does. Oh yeah, he was talking on trans people with the one of the other videos, which was a newer video, and he's just so dumb.
Tell me.
Just give
I
me
know
a
what you're trying to
ballpark.
do. You're trying to put me in this chokehold of like,
No, I'm
I
not trying
got
to
you
put you in a
moment.
No, this is definitely a gotcha
No.
moment.
This is definitely a
I'm
gotcha
suggesting to you that you think this problem is much bigger than
It is a huge problem.
Okay.
Medi-Cal, you know, Medi-Cal covers inmate trans women.
I understand that, yes. And I know
medical coverage.
one person has had that.
Thank God they're getting medical coverage.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
I don't really care. They just cover like all medical issues.
Oh, you did threaten to go see him today. What are you gonna do to him? Anyway, go ahead.
Kill him.
Kill.
I don't
We
understand.
never saw him
Like,
again.
I don't understand the point. Yeah, medical coverage is gonna cover medical issues. Oh my God.
Yeah, it says. I mean, it's actually hard to get medical coverage for sex reassignment and everything.
Yeah, because it's like such a fucking massive ass surgery and takes so much time and effort.
Yeah, and then you have to prove it's not just cosmetic, that it's like you need it and stuff like that.
Yeah, you need it. Which, like, most trans people, as far as I know, don't even get it. So
yeah.
That surgery.
I don't understand how
Also, 'cause it's hard to
can
get it
go for
covered.
an inmate prisoner
if
who
you
wants
have
to transition.
Well, I think because we got to do health care for prisoners,
Gavin
and you
Newsom-
don't consider
Gavin
it real
Newsom-
health care.
No.
But
Gavin
hold on, I
Newsom
don't want
has
to get
imposed
listen,
$2.6
it's
billion in
900 kids
2022.
over 5 years.
That is a lot of
received
children.
Puberty blockers.
That is a lot of children. Dollars in
900 kids over
Gavin
real
Newsom,
health care. But
Gavin
hold on, I
Newsom
don't want
has
to get
imposed
listen,
$2.6
it's
billion.
900 kids over
5
over
years?
5 years.
Yeah, that's very few.
that's way smarter than I thought.
Yeah.
Damn.
That is a lot of
Received
children.
puberty
That is a lot of
blockers.
children.
I
No,
met
it's
one of
like-
those. That's crazy.
4/7 just
Do you know how
passed,
many-
including
do you know how
gender
many kids
identity.
died
Actually, no.
during
Over
gender
5 years. Never mind. She would have been before that. Sorry.
Well, he said it was between.
I guess
like
it would have been when
18
the
to
study
22.
was.
Yeah, I think
She-
he said it was like 18 to 22.
She was
or
like
something.
my age. She was getting
Yeah.
puberty blockers like before being trans was even a thing.
Before trans was even a thing.
Yeah.
Before
well,
it
you know
blew
what I
up,
mean.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Before everybody was talking about
Like,
it.
oh, God.
She's like an OG.
Identity
All right.
to allow children
10
to be
kids a
separated from
month
their parents
die
just
from
due to not
accidental
affirming their gender.
gun death.
Yeah, not affirming their gender can actually, if you were to talk to a psychologist or a therapist, could constitute abuse. So, depending on like, yeah. So technically,
I mean, I would sure.
It's
I
hard.
would just say it's more like inflicting mental suffering that like.
I mean,
I don't know.
Well, so here, because I pulled it up earlier, he was talking about it. AB 954, as introduced, focuses on dependency and court-ordered services for children, particularly concerning parental involvement in child welfare. While AB 954 itself doesn't directly address gender identity, it has implications for how courts consider parental affirmation of a child's gender identity in custody and visitation decisions. So basically, if one parent is actually confirming their child's identity, like using the pronouns they want and stuff, then that's going to be considered within their decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought when you said abuse in my brain, it was just like a guy on the street. I didn't realize you meant like parents.
Oh, parents.
Something.
Yeah, parents.
That's different. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, that's why I like heavily rolled my eyes. I was
like
a dude on the street misgenders you and now he's abusing you. That sounds stupid to me.
Yeah, no. This is like their parents.
Okay, cool. That makes more sense then.
Yeah.
That seems reasonable.
Identity.
But here's the point. Listen, Trump how is he hurting these people?
Data compiled by Reuters and the health technology company Komodo found that from 2017 to 2021, 4,780 adolescents started puberty blockers and had a gender dysphoria diagnosis. A new study from JAMA Pediatrics found that only 0.1% of young patients in the study were trans and prescribed puberty blockers or hormone therapy. So that's even less. That's even less.
Yeah, I don't even know. How do you fuck up that bad? Jesus Christ. Even if it is 4,780, that's still like nothing.
Yeah.
That's still like such a tiny percent of the population.
This is actually no. He could still be right because this says adolescents. He just kind of vaguely said children.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. So I don't know. Either way, it's a small number.
He just rescinded the ability of the Labor Bureau to investigate discrimination in workplace. Are you for trans people being discriminated in workplace?
They're never being discriminated.
Are you for?
Oh yeah, this person also doesn't. This person also believes we're past racism. So
He what?
He believes we're past racism, is how he put it.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean that's a bit goofy.
Yeah.
If any, yeah, it's a pretty goofy goober opinion. Bad boy, don't do that.
People being discriminated with
I'm very passionate about that question, and can I answer it? Okay, so I believe that affirmative action should be.
It's not affirmative action.
Oh, then what is it?
It's anti-discrimination. That's not.
You know what? Let me look. What is affirmative action again? I've been hearing it a lot lately. A set of policies designed to address historical and systemic inequalities by promoting opportunities for individuals from underrepresented or disadvantaged groups.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah. So again, it's still like illegal for businesses to discriminate. Yeah. So it would be more like you're having a really strong recruitment drive.
Yeah.
Or you're investing more money into like disenfranchised groups to try to make them aware of like your thing.
Yeah.
Which does not count. The only thing, this is like very important. The only thing that counts as discrimination is basically when you like literally say in your like research doc, like no people of X race. That's it. And in some cases, that's still, even that's fine, because this thing called, I brought up earlier, like a rational basis test versus strict scrutiny. So if anything on the face of it is racist, you have to go through like strict scrutiny, which is like it's like a 5-prong test or something. But usually you can still get away with it if it's like just on the face reasonable. So for instance, like looking for somebody to play a slave in South America in a movie, right? Like you're probably, and you're like only, black males between the ages of 25 and 35. Yeah,
because you want to be more accurate, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Or like looking for an actor to play Hitler, like German, German speaking, 40 to 50, white.
Yeah.
And it's acceptable. And there'd also be like other like minor things, doing it, like testing product specifically for people with like, this complexion or whatever.
Yeah, we want to know how it affects these. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So that makes sense.
And so my point is that like those are the only instances really where there's like actual discrimination, but it's just acceptable discrimination. And that like in reality,
there's
we're talking about
good reason behind it, basically.
Exactly. And in reality, when we're talking about affirmative action, it's like it says intended to promote. Like that's the key word. It's not that we're being like no white people. It's just like we're going to like disenfranchised communities and like trying to help them get a job. Like,
yeah. So then why is affirmative action such a buzzword for?
Because people don't know what it is. Like
that tracks.
This was just me like in law school being like, oh, it's just illegal to do that. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's why you should always challenge them to be like, name me one law that is actually discriminatory. Like, name me one. Give me one single policy. Because supposedly they're everywhere and they can't do it.
They're gonna say DEI.
Yeah, but then you'd be like, okay, give me one DEI policy that is discriminatory.
Yeah,
give me one.
True.
And they're not gonna be able to do that. That's
true.
That's why, like, maybe you saw me in the debate chat. I was telling that one guy.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to look at that.
That was a while ago. It was a couple of days ago. But I was like, I literally just kept. He was like, DEI is discriminatory, and then I was like, it's illegal to discriminate both in business and in school. So, you no, like you just can't do that. Like it's definitionally not because we don't allow it to happen. And then he was basically like, well, it is actually. And then I just was like, find me. I was like, if you can find me one single instance of discrimination, go and sue. The thing is, the evidence that none of them are actually discriminatory is that no one's ever won a lawsuit about it. And conservatives would cum their pants if they won a lawsuit about that.
True, and then it would be like, and then they would ride that for years. Probably.
Literally, they would be like, we beat Harvard, we sued Harvard, and we won. They were racist against white people. So yeah, that was always that's my challenge. I'm like, if you could find one policy that is actually discriminatory, let me know. I would even be down to be like, here's the pronged test the Supreme Court uses to determine if something is racist. Here you go.
Fuck, that'd be great.
Go test them. See how it goes.
Fuck, I might need a link to, or I might have to look that up. Find the test. It's like, here, take this.
I can just send you the test. I have it all in my notes. So.
Okay. Well, fair enough. All right.
It's saying that you have to hire trans people. It's saying you can't fire someone when you find out they're trans.
Sorry, Bunny. I accidentally closed the chat. Bunny says no. I did threaten to go see him today. I don't know, but I'm an hour away from coffee and I enjoy causing chaos. Fair enough. One of my parents uses my name and pronouns. The other one forces stuff with my dead name on it. I'm sorry you have to go through that. That sucks. No, we support you.
Okay, well, hold on a minute. So when
I don't know you that well, but I'll support you.
When you interview someone, for example, you are supposed to interview them based on their knowledge and their work ethic.
DEI is meant to promote merit, right? Like DEI is purely merit.
Yeah, it's supposed to like raise people from disenfranchised areas that have the merit, but maybe not the tools to put themselves in a position to get this opportunity. Yeah, so that's what we always need to think about. Is it's like we're not giving people jobs. We're giving people the opportunity to pursue the job. That's what we're doing. It's very different. Like again, it's illegal. Just go read the 1964 Equal Protection Act that made it so you can't discriminate in the workplace. It's been illegal again. So it's been illegal for 61 years now. And then if you talk about schooling, that's been illegal. That's been unconstitutional since 1978.
Huh.
Like you have nothing. You have no legs to stand on. It is not legal in this country. Like it doesn't matter how much you say it is. It's not legal.
Maybe we should just bring up the DEI topic. I think you'd be good at that too, but
yeah, well, because the ultimate test is just like give me literally a single policy, and they can't give you a single one. One, because they don't know any. They just have been told DEI their whole life, and they're like, what? A real policy? Like, give me a real policy.
Well, it's like when you ask like a Trump supporter, it's like, oh, I like Trump's policies. You're like, name one.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like,
I like what he did with the border. It's like, that's not a policy.
Yeah.
Not based on sex.
I'm not saying affirmative
not based
action.
On their sexual
Are
orientation.
you allowed to fire them if you find out they're trans?
If you need to, then you should. If you need to, then you should.
So we have a disagreement. I don't believe people should be discriminated against.
Pause.
Hey, I just sent you a list. This is the list of so evidence of discriminatory purpose. It's the impact of the official action. So that would be like, so if somebody ever brings up like, oh, but like this is disproportionately helping like black people, basically is what they would say. You'd be like, okay, that is actually evidence of discriminatory purpose. That is true, correct. But we have to go look at the other 6 prongs. It'd be like a historical background of the decision. So what's the historical background of the decision to do like affirmative action? It's like, well, racism, awesome, great. Specific sequence of events leading up to the challenge decision. You jumped in a call and you're angry at us. Like, whatever. Departures from normal procedural sequence, they're not going to be able to cite anything. Substantive departures from considerations relied on in the past. There's never been, like, we're always considering, like, how to remedy past racism. That's just, like, obvious. So
yeah.
And then, like, contemporary statements by members of the decision-making body. And then again, they're not going to have anything. So this would be like a good prong, but you don't even need to bring up the prongs about this would be like a law more so than like a business policy. But that would be like if you wanted a really basic framework to like push all those statements through, that's what you would use.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
Discrimination. It's based on your knowledge, not what you sleep with, not who you sleep with. Just saying.
What is stigma? Bro, I want the Santa Claus.
Sam.
So, I actually think that this liberal world order needs...
Great start.
I mean, I agree with her. There is a liberal world order, and thank God for that.
To be
so, you know,
agree
to disagree, bitch. God damn.
Nationalism would be a good alternative. Needs to be thrown away. I actually think that this liberal world order needs to be thrown away completely, and I think Christian nationalism would be a good alternative. What we're seeing right now is just
congratulations.
And thank you. And yeah, I think what we're seeing right now is a culture of death. This is the most suicidal generation ever. We have millions of children dying by abortion.
Glossing over abortion. Is this really the most suicidal time? Haven't suicides been going down consistently over time in the U.S.?
They went up.
They went up in COVID probably, but
they go up when there's like stress. 2008 they go up, they go down. COVID's gonna happen, they go up. They're probably gonna go down again. I mean, suicide rates have like gone up, but it's also like we're living longer. I don't know. It's a dumb statement. Fuck this lady.
People aren't even reproducing. We're not even. We don't even have like a.
Suffering.
Should we mandate people?
What?
He's talking. I'm sorry. I will not indulge in anti-rich people behavior, as you know, as a filthy neoliberal.
Oh, we got Gamer Jam. Got an idea. Oh, Christian nationalism will make canonical Jesus so angry. Probably true. Got an idea. Hoarders TV show, but it's a host interrogating rich people. Yeah, exactly what you were just reading. Interrogating rich people. Why they hoard wealth that could be used to eliminate suffering. Call it sociopaths in suits. I feel like you can make that. I think you can make that.
You can bro out about that.
They do hoard.
Socialist adjacent, right?
No, I mean, honestly, the last time someone brought it up, I was just like, I just said I was liberal.
Based.
Yeah. Well, cause, I mean, you can hoard wealth in socialism too. It's not like.
I mean, you can just whatever.
Just
I don't
less
know.
likely.
Like, I agree they can help people and they probably should, but whatever.
Yeah. It's like legally we can't force that. We like you agree that they. Oh well, okay, yeah, but should you? I guess is the goal. I mean, we should tax them more. Is what you?
The question is like, to what extent do you tax them? Like, I'm okay with rich people being rich. That doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Basically, would be my point. Like, if you're doing really, really good in society, you should probably be rewarded. I'm okay with that. The existence of billionaires doesn't bother me.
Yeah. It's like less strictly being a billionaire. It's for me, it'd be like more how you got there, I guess. But
I don't give a fuck about that either.
Canon Jesus sat and braided a whip to drive the money changers out of the temple. I have a patch on my bag that says, "Don't sit at tables. Jesus would have flipped."
True. He flipped the table and he whipped the bankers. All right, resume.
Will reproduce?
No, I don't think we need to mandate. We can just stop them from killing their kids.
You want to outlaw abortion?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, we have a fundamental disagreement on this, and my claim was that if you voted for Trump, it would be to your benefit if you want to outlaw abortion.
I think it would benefit everyone.
Yeah, I disagree. I think that that women should have the right to choose.
I think that it would benefit everyone to bring back the family unit, to stop having women just thrown into the workforce.
Maybe we shouldn't allow women to choose to divorce unless their husbands say it's okay.
I mean, I don't really believe in divorce in general. So.
Oh, that guy in the back just like fucking agreed to that. What a piece of shit.
Oh, like, sure.
So sure. She doesn't even know what she's talking about.
I mean,
these interviews are so blackpilling. It's so fucking upsetting.
That if you are
What is blackpilling again? Because obviously
it makes you sad. Sometimes it's like an incel thing. In this context, I'm not using it in incel way. It's just like man, I hate this place. Like the world sucks. Every time I've listened to Christian nationalists or like it's like naughty. I just didn't realize how like I don't know. Again, it's the internet. I just didn't realize how fucked Christianity makes your brain. Like it has never like occurred to me. Basically, like I told you, I'm just like slowly agreeing with you that I need to have theological conversations, even though I hate them. They're like the worst conversations.
Well,
the whole fucking
again,
world.
that's why you just argue on the basis that God is just evil. It's just funner. It's more fun, at least.
Maybe I would still like it. Just seems pointless unless you just actually convince them God's not real. But it's like I don't even know.
I mean, it's about planting a seed.
Metaphysics.
I mean, that's one of the difficult things I think about doing this sort of format. I guess like what we're doing is like you're probably never gonna see like the final results of your discussion, even if they do change their mind, because a lot of times it's like planting a seed of doubt. Basically. So and like I'm definitely someone that like loves the God damn, I cannot think of words half the time. It's so bad. I'm like my dad. I like to get that enjoyment, like right, like I want to get it now, but it's just
but you're not gonna get it. God's cruel.
A
lot of therapy. Have you seen the parable about why God made atheists? Was it to test your faith or some shit? Why'd they make us?
I'm kind of curious about that. Which we probably won't watch on this stream because probably only have like 30 minutes left or so before the stream ends. Free will. Oh, so atheists have free will and the Christians don't. Got it. I know that's not probably not the prompt, but you know.
It was a whoopsies. God fumbled the bag with that one.
Dumb shit though, yeah. No, it's a thing I read. Oh, okay.
Better for society. It would be better for everybody in society. And same with xenophobic what's the problem with xenophobic nationalism? Do you think that's better for Americans in general? Like
xenophobic nationalism is better.
We should have a coherent culture.
I don't think she knows what that means, or she does. Why do I give people? I keep giving people benefit of the doubt. Fuck that shit.
You and I give benefit of the doubt on different things.
I know. Yeah, well, because I just don't want people to be stupid.
Same.
I just want them.
Yeah.
I want them to have thoughts in their brain that make fucking sense. But I know if I ask this stupid fucking woman any question. It's going to be like, well, what do you mean by culture? And she's going to be like, well, the Mexicans. And you're going to be like, oh, okay. So we just don't like Mexicans. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh, Steffi Bunny, God made atheists because they look at the world and see no other reason to do good things than to just make the world better for others for the sake of being good. They don't do good things for God's sake. They do it for the sake of others. Oh.
Damn, we're based.
I know, we're so good.
Except I do it for myself. Yes.
Dick.
Yeah,
it's just another bullet to bite.
It should be a part of the same culture. We should have assimilation.
Which do you get to choose what the culture is?
We already have a dominant culture
based
on European and Christian values and identity. That is the dominant culture.
White Christian.
It's rooted in
European
identity.
White. So your argument is
that has been the dominant culture.
Just to be clear,
we're
not Christian nationalism.
Assimilate to that. We're saying you should keep your culture, and this is why our culture is so divided.
Your argument is that Trump is good for those who want a dominant white European culture.
I mean, that is what America is.
See? Well, look at that. Why even give her the benefit of the doubt? Kill me.
Having a civics test to vote.
I know.
It'd
be awesome.
Sounds so good. We're not going to do it. I'm not going to support it. I don't know.
Man.
Oh my God.
The more you listen to other people talk, the more you're like, there should be a civics test. Holy shit.
It's true.
It's rooted in European identity and Christian values. That's what it has been. Would you really disagree with that? What is it then if that's not the identity of America?
Well, I think the identity of
America...
For the
majority of time, America's been a country...
I mean, I would hope Squid would pass the citizenship test.
I was talking to someone who had to pass it, and they were asking me questions, and I was like, these most dumbass basic bitch questions I've ever heard in my life.
And yet I would still I'd probably fuck up. I mean, I would just have to study for it a little bit, and I'd probably be fine, yeah.
I told them I'd probably fail it, because I was like, I don't know exactly what it would be. But one, they told me some of the questions, and then I was like, these are dumbass questions. This person didn't know what philosophy was. Like, the concept philosophy, they'd never heard of it. Ever.
Really?
Right? Yeah, like the word philosophy, they didn't know what that meant.
Interesting.
They were not sure. So I was like, this is a dumb person. So I think I could pass this test. that was my takeaway. Yeah, I was like, this dumbass passed this test.
I mean, the citizenship test seems just kind of arbitrary to me, like, in a way. Like, it feels...
like Constitution and history and some other random shit.
Yeah.
Or like, bro, they asked me. I'm getting sidetracked, but they asked me, who did we fight in World War II? I was like,
I mean, Japan, Germany, Italy, some other smaller European countries.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted to know, because when you ask a question like that, that's like that basic, your brain immediately goes, "This is a trick question." Like, there's a secret person we fought in the war that most of us haven't heard about, and I'm about to look like a fucking idiot.
I'm too dumb smart for this shit.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, Germany, and they were like, "You're so smart." I'm like, everybody fucking knows it's Germany.
Like, everyone fought against Germany. If they didn't fight against Germany, they fought against anyone that wasn't Germany.
Basically. Yeah, I thought it was very funny.
Yeah.
You don't think that's been the identity?
Well, actually, no. I think actually the identity of America has been, you know, for better or for worse, a melting pot in that regard.
Yeah, maybe since like the 1960s. Even then, like.
She's so fucking stupid.
He is insanely dumb. Yeah. I actually think he's a Nazi. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
She might be. She might be. Yeah, no,
he's like not
100%.
I would say, like, or someone in her life who's telling her this is a Nazi.
So, yeah. She's just super red pilled.
It's not even red pilled. She's just straight up like. These are like Nazi documents at this point.
Yeah. Fuck it. What was I gonna say? Going to his melting pot point, I actually kind of liked how someone else described it. I don't even remember who this was. I think it might have been like one of my teachers or something. But it was like the U.S. is less like a melting pot, more like a beef stew. So you have the broth that brings everything together. Like there's just a general understanding of American, I guess. But then you have like the potatoes, the meat, the carrots, and those are all like different cultures that exist within this stew. So I was like, I kind of like that.
I would agree. It's a good analogy.
Yeah, melting pot. I mean, I'll still say melting pot, but like, you could make it sound like assimilation.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the only reason to stop the melting pot one.
Yeah.
Even we had this idea of a melting pot literally means assimilation too. It means melting. It means you're assimilating to the dominant culture. Is that not what melting means? And now instead,
that's not what they meant by melting pot.
But the implication.
Yeah.
We're saying there's something wrong with xenophobia.
Culture. No, I mean, look, I got to be honest with you. Like, you and I have a fundamental disagreement. We will never see eye to eye on this. It's a choice. And
I hate that.
I think what you're.
I say that because if you don't see the eye to eye, you just hit them.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, you just hit. That's why you have to fundamentally assume you can change at least enough people's minds to like swing an election in your favor, basically. Otherwise, you just hit people, and that's it. That's all you do. So I have to fundamentally disagree with Sam Cedar on that one. Just be like, no, you have, because if you don't believe you can change somebody's mind, then like democracy doesn't work.
Yeah.
You have to believe it.
It's like, then why do we do everything we do?
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, you just are like whatever, liberal dictatorship or some shit.
Seffi Bunny, I've seen it where someone called America a potluck, not a melting pot. And I almost like that better. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, like, it doesn't have to be the beef stew one. That's just the one I've heard. Like, it could be a cool ass potluck.
I prefer a crock pot. Okay,
true,
that's what I think America is.
I want to be able to eat my beliefs.
You're expressing though is
you
really
bring food to
what
Apollo,
the Trump movement at its heart is about. And I think that's problematic.
I disagree. I don't think Trump's like anywhere close to being a Christian nationalist. That's ridiculous. Like Trump's basically a Democrat from like 15 years ago.
My God, she is, bro. She's actually a Nazi. This is crazy. This is actually insane. Oh my God, she's actually technically I agree with her. I think Trump's an atheist. So,
yeah. But
she's like actually a Nazi. This is imagine being like Trump is left wing. Holy shit.
So insane.
I'm gonna get blackout drunk.
I don't have. Fuck, that would be such a good idea to actually just like do some drinking before I fucking do this stream, even if we're gonna debate against someone.
Think that he's conservative enough for you?
Oh, definitely. Nowhere close. No.
He's not xenophobic enough for you?
No, he's trying to import a bunch of H-1Bs. Are you kidding?
Right. Oh, so you want to get them out too? Yeah. No, I mean,
like other people are like, oh my God.
Yeah, no.
I think
she's legit, like actually a Nazi. Like I'm not even.
I think
I'm not
she
even, like,
straight up might be.
Benefit of the doubt is gone. Like this bitch is. If she doesn't identify as a Nazi, she like doesn't realize that she's a Nazi.
Yeah,
like,
just 100%. Yeah.
Right.
Well, okay. I'm just saying he's not even in here. Okay.
Get the fuck out. Just get the fuck out. Don't even clap.
The GOP will destroy Social Security and healthcare.
Well,
isn't he already trying to defund it? Am I tripping on that one?
I know there's like some stuff that's like flying under some of the tables of the public eye or something that it does seem like they're at least going to be cutting like Medicare and potentially Social Security or something. But
apparently, the Trump admin on March 11th posted a fact check. President Trump will always protect Social Security and Medicare. Well, thank God. Thank you, thewhitehouse.com.
Yeah, thank you, thewhitehouse.com. I can't imagine that's such a good source anymore.
Nice to see you.
So, what if Social Security should go away? That's my question.
Man,
no, let's
because Social Security keeps 2/3 of our elderly out of poverty, and not only does it keep our elderly out of poverty, it's essentially a social insurance program that protects you if at the end of your life you don't have enough money to survive.
For right now, do you know that it's also the albatross around our generation's neck?
No, it isn't.
Okay, so
let me just explain this.
And I know I don't think your taxes are that steep to be concerned.
Nah. Well, I mean, like, how much of my money to go to Social Security? It wasn't that much. It was only like $50 a paycheck. Like, calling it an albatross is like a little much.
you'll survive. Our income tax is lower than most countries.
No, I mean, if you go to like the Sweden or Denmark, it's like 50%. Like everyone in all income brackets, 50%'s gone.
Apparently, they're fine with it.
But, yeah, well, I think
I mean, they also probably see more benefit from it, but it's also a tiny country, so
that's like one of the problems with like I don't know enough about healthcare, but one of my understandings is that like one of the reasons our healthcare is bad, or like it's just not efficient for our, like because our country is so large and like the state versus federal system is so kind of like complicated.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a genuine question of like how efficiently can the government even like distribute this.
Gotcha.
Which don't challenge me on that.
Yeah,
I don't have enough information.
The only
don't bully, please.
No, you're good. No, I'm not going to. Like the only thing I would say is that economists, I'd have to pull up the thing because like this is the same thing that like everyone's been parroting, pretty much. But it's like economists said that if we did switch to a universal healthcare system similar to that of like countries in Europe, we would actually see an increase in money into the government. And
I mean,
and that and the citizens would also actually be saving more.
Yeah, that's what they say. I mean,
I'm not an economist, so
yeah, right. Well, even if you say they save more money, I would be curious the like quality of the health care. I would want to know how that what happened to that.
The U.S. healthcare system is still not that highly rated.
I know, we'd still be shit. But the question would be like, would it
be better or worse? Yeah.
Would the quality of it be better or worse? Because then I don't know. We also just like produce all the new stuff, and I don't know how much that's related to like Medicare or
I don't know.
The fact that we like pay for private insurance. I would just, like I said, I would just need to research more of it.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna go back to lecturing me about Social Security.
Well,
we don't
that's
have.
what we're talking about. Social Security.
Social Security is one of the top 3 funded.
Social Security is almost the biggest thing that our government does.
Exactly, and we are more than $30 trillion in debt.
Well, first of all,
so just to lower our debt, let's fuck over our citizens.
Yeah, the other that's what I wanted to say. The other thing is like you can't get rid of Social Security. Like once you make Social Security, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah,
because everyone's invested into it.
Yeah.
So the moment you stop investing into it, you're just like fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Like the most you could maybe say is like, oh well, the government should have just put our money into like a 401k for ourselves. Like they should just put it in like a private 401k or whatever, and they shouldn't have been allowed to take money out. But now it's like, well, they did. So
it's too late.
Yeah, too late, buddy. Like, whoops. We didn't put it into 401ks. They took it all out and spent on other shit.
I guess you're gonna have to go knock on your neighbor's door and steal some of the shit.
Like I agree. Well, I shouldn't say I agree. My understanding is that Social Security is kind of like wonky and like they take money out of it, and that's annoying. But it's just like you can't just drop it now. Like it's with you.
And that's kind of one of the arguments, like to stay with like privatized healthcare too, is because like it's so ingrained.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but I feel like that's a little different. But yeah,
it is different. It is different. Sephi, I missed what the flags are for. Why do they have flags? So basically, At any point in time during their conversation, if more than 50% of the people raise up their flag, then the person talking with Sam Cedar switches out. Basically. That's all it means. And it's a frustrating system. The Jubilee format sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Security cannot contribute legally to the deficit.
Because they don't even account it in the federal deficit every year.
That's correct.
We have
because
30
it's
years.
self-funding. When Social Security started in 1936, you have more workers than retirees because people haven't entered into retirement.
Social Security is funded through a dedicated payroll tax paid by both employers and employees. However, trust fund reserves are expected to run out by 2035, which will lead to a decrease in benefits.
Yeah.
Hooray!
By 1970,
we ain't seen that shit.
3.5.
Fine, I'll be rich.
Now it's at 2.5.
That's true.
But
being a lawyer helps, I guess.
has increased during that time.
Exactly.
So the amount of money paid into Social Security has been up there. The reason why we are running out of money just for the trust fund, not for Social Security. Like I say, if we do nothing with Social Security now, it is statutorily unable to contribute to the debt. The math is right there. The reason why the trust fund is running out is because wealth inequality has hoarded so much money above the cap. Wealth inequality.
In 1940, the ratio of covered workers to covered retirees was 159 to 1. Since 2010, the ratio has been below 3 to 1.
So how does this relate to money going to the top 1%? What? I guess just tax them more? Is that it? Would that be the point?
I don't even know. Hold on.
Because the point would be the point would be that we don't have nearly as many workers putting money into the system. So therefore, there's less Social Security money. That's it. Because there's more old people than young people because of inverted birth rates. That'd be it.
Yeah.
Trust fund, not for Social Security. Like I say, if we do nothing with Social Security now, it is statutorily unable to contribute to the debt. The math is right there. The reason why the trust fund is running out is because wealth inequality has hoarded so much money above the cap.
You don't think it's because the government does a terrible job managing their money? They have a huge spending problem, and they go, oh, look at all this money we have for Social Security that's earmarked for 60 years from now that we're just going to spend on something right now.
40 years ago, they predicted this. This is an actuarial table. Accountants sit there and look at it. This is a very easy math problem.
Accountants in the government are always right? That's
so this guy just doesn't trust them. Simply put.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would want to hear what Sam Cedar. I just don't like. I don't understand what he means. Like people are hoarding it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. I don't know enough about Social Security, so I could just
totally the thing that you're saying. That they're always correct about money, right? That's why we have a $40 trillion debt problem.
The problem isn't the math with the $40 trillion debt problem. It's the you have tax
cuts. It's the spending problem. I totally agree with you, which I would argue is part of why Social Security's gone in the hole already.
That's simply not true.
Oh, okay. So we're out of money from the Social Security bucket.
No. Statutorily, by that I mean by law, Social Security pays for itself. If we do nothing, the 6.2% that your employer and your employee pays into it will pay out 78% of benefits starting in 2033.
And why is it going down? If everything's so much better, why is it only 78%?
If we raise the cap, there's a cap right now at $176,000.
Employers and employees each pay 6.2% a year on up to $176,000 in income.
Oh, wait. So you stop paying 6% if you post 176,000. Why? Is that actually true? Well, it's this Jubilee fact check, so I gotta trust it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna look this shit up. And well, I mean, that is kind of one of the things. Is like, oh, well, like the rich get tax breaks, right?
Well, I guess it would just basically the theory would be like, why do we tax these rich guys who have like a 401k? Would basically be the question. Like, why not just let them keep it? Like the point of a Social Security net is for the broke people, like poor people. So,
all right, so
that's crazy.
That's so. And then self-employed, so entrepreneurs pay more.
The people who are most likely to fail are the ones who pay more. I guess that's because they're both. Actually, no, that makes sense. They're both employer and employee. Never mind. I retract my sarcasm. That's crazy, though. They actually stopped paying. I don't I feel like I don't know if that still answers Sam Cedar's like, oh well, the rich stop paying into Social Security.
Well, so I think it's so if they make more than 176,000, they still get 6.2% of that 176,000 cut. But after that, it only caps at 176,000. So if they make $1 million, they're still only being taxed 6.2% of 106. That's so stupid.
Exactly. Yeah, that is very dumb.
I hate everything.
I would be curious if they still get Social Security checks. Would they would you just deny that person Social Security? That would at least make more sense to be like, you just don't you're still gonna pay into Social Security, you just don't get it because you're disgustingly rich. Like if you go below a certain income, level, give it to you. But until then,
right. Sephi, I feel like we could just cut the military budget just a little bit for a few years and deal with the debt thing.
Sorry, you know my position on the military.
Yeah, I don't know enough to like. I'm sure there could be. Well, I mean, it depends on. How
sure
you
look.
Military,
Doge came in and they tried it and they couldn't find any inefficiency. So just keep on funding it. Look, we protect all the tradeways in the world. We are the, until hopefully when Trump goes away, we'll go back to being the beacon of liberal goddamn democracy that we are. I like that we fund NATO. We protect like every country ever. What about failed audits? That's true. I'm not saying we can't cut it, but
yeah,
I'm also saying I like the military. I'm the guy when you ask me about the military-industrial complex. I'm like, damn, bro, I wish it was bigger. Like that's what I want. Okay, I don't really.
Doge is the inefficiency. I mean, they are pretty bad.
Get rid of it.
True.
Get rid of Doge, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Doge promised to give us like $2 trillion of inefficiency, and what did they give us? Like $2 billion. Like it was like a couple billion. It wasn't even that much.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like they cut so many things and it was so little.
I know, because what you find out is you can't cut any of the big shit. You can cut like PBS. Like wow, damn, bro.
Well, and then they got rid of like US aid and everything, which took up such a minor fraction of the budget, like such a
tiny, and it was great for America because now everyone in the world, they were like, "Wow, America is just giving money to poor people." Like awesome,
right? Yeah, and then it was helping with like the CDC, the WHO.
Yeah,
like there's a whole tuberculosis thing going on. Thank you, John Green. I love the Green brothers, but now that even that's getting pushed back because of it, so.
Just so dumb.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
If you make $100,000, you pay $6,200 into that.
A year,
a year. But if you make $4 million, do you know how much money you pay into Social Security? $6,200.
And so why should wealthy people hang on? Why should wealthy people pay a higher percentage?
No, they should pay the same percentage. 6.2
same
on
percentage.
$400,000, 6.2 on $1 million.
And why should they pay even more money at all? Because they make more money? Again, you fundamentally have this idea that because somebody you have an idea that because somebody makes more money that's fundamentally wrong, right?
No, I don't think it's fundamentally wrong. I think that they should pay more taxes into it. Now, I do think as a society we should not allow billionaires. So, for instance,
they can pay more taxes generally.
Why should the highest tax rate and the greatest expansion of our economy?
Hang on, does a billionaire get
you
more
or
money
coffee
from Social
need to go
Security
become a socialist? That way, when like the more lefty people come onto the stream, they're not all like, "I hate it here. Squid won't stop being a filthy neoliberal." what did he need to?
Dude, on that one stream where you're talking with Jovan, I was like getting into a discussion with one of the people in his chat, and oh my god, like he or they, I don't know which one they were just like, they're like, I'm in a bad mood. He's like, they were just like, fuck liberals. I was like, what do you mean? You literally share so many of the things, at the very least socially, right? It's like there's no reason. Leftists are just super, super self-destructive all the time. They hate each other too. So
yeah, I don't know.
Like, I get being angry, obviously, but
yeah, I would agree. I get being angry, but people are just, they're goobers.
To go take it, then I would.
No,
of course not. So why should they pay more?
I'll tell you what. Because it is a social insurance program that keeps you from being in poverty when you're a senior. And the reason why I think billionaires should pay more taxes than other people, even a higher percentage, is because it works better for society. The greatest expansion we've had in this country in terms of economics and the least amount of wealth disparity was in the 40s and 50s and 60s in this country. Do you know what the top marginal rate was?
It was high.
Do you know
yeah,
what it
I don't
was?
know the exact number, but
if you made over $470,000 in 1955, every dollar you would make above that was taxed at 90%.
So I have a question.
90
Really?
cents on every dollar
Yeah, we got a
was
crazy
taxed.
high tax rate.
And people were still
say
fine?
that. Yeah, people say that. I'm just like skeptical of people just like throw out that number, and I'm pretty sure it's correct. But then it's like, I don't know. I would want to know A, when the number went away, and then B, what happened. Like, what happens when you
why
stop?
did it go away?
Yeah, like why do we stop taxing them 90%? Because like society is still better. I assume it didn't happen when like. Because the other thing is like I think about when the productivity separated from wage growth, and that was around like Reagan, right? And that would be like in my brain, that's like what everyone complains about, kind of a thing. So I'm just like, when do the indicators of like income problems begin? Like if they don't begin when we get rid of the tax, I don't know.
Coffee says it was removed during FDR.
FDR removed it?
It must have been after the war, right?
Did he remove it? It's FDR. I mean, it could have been. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
FDR was like
he said no. He said no. Did FDR implement it for the war? That's who taxed them.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. I was like, there's no way FDR was when we got rid of it. I was like, FDR had to be the one who implemented it.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I do kind of want to look into it, actually. Tax rate. This is just AI.
Well, it started declining in 1964, and then ended in and then the decline stopped at 1987. Again, I don't know. Like, there's just some. I don't know. Like, maybe it was. Like I said, maybe it was good.
It was designed to soak the rich and encourage greater tax collection.
I mean, yeah, no shit. Like, yeah, no kidding, bro. True. I think what people don't want to accept is you're gonna have to tax the middle class too and the poor people, but
yeah, but
whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna need to chuck. Like, imagine getting on stage as the president, being like, "We need the middle class to pay 50%."
Yeah, that'd be a lot.
All their money.
That'd be a lot.
Yeah, well, that's what Sweden does. So don't worry, the rich will pay a fuckload too. They will pay more, but you will pay 50%. Goddammit.
But imagine how much money would be going into like infrastructure and shit.
Yeah, no.
Assuming it's spent well, but
yeah, which I mean, it probably, frankly, it would be. We're not.
Yeah.
No matter what people say, we're not very corrupt, but.
At least probably not in this.
FDR is the reason we have term limits, because there was like a traditional term limit of 2, and then FDR won 4 terms in a row, and then they passed an amendment.
Like, maybe not.
Well,
but at the same time,
I have very like iffy. So I like it for the president.
Mm-hmm.
This is a side tangent that is unrelated to this fucking video we're watching, but I like it for the president because I think it helps stop him from being kind of like a king.
Yeah.
Like it keeps like one guy, because the president definitely has the most power in the country, and it stops like one guy.
Yeah.
From coalescing it. On the other hand, though, you look at like prime ministers, and they don't really, outside of like Hitler and Mussolini and like a couple of people, they usually don't like do dictator stuff, and like functionally the president and the prime minister are like very similar kind of roles.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of, there's the part of my brain that's like, democracy generally good. It's like, why shouldn't I be allowed to vote for a guy 4 times in a row?
Yeah.
It feels,
it's like
why not? I feel like I should be allowed to do that. And that, because I'm also against term limits for like congressmen, because I feel like if you get rid of term limits for congressmen, you're just going to like sharply decline the quality of a congressman like instantly. Like imagine you could only have a job, like let's say you have term limits for like the House of Representatives, which is like every 2 years. So let's say same as the president, 8 years. Okay, like nobody's going to invest heavily in a job that you only have for 8 years, and the skills are like super non-transferable. Like there'll be people who were like a governor, and then once they stop being a governor, they're like a manager of a fucking Wendy's because their skills are just like not super transferable to other industries.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, at least if like they have a bullshit degree. If you have like a law degree and you could go out, but you're not transferring your government skills. You're just doing a fucking lawyer job.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like generally against term limits. Is I think the quality of like Congress people would sharply decline.
It would decline if we did have more.
If we had term limits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if we implement term limits, I think our Congress people would all just get dumber because there's no one is going to invest in a job that lasts 8 years. Nobody's going to do that.
I can see that argument. That's probably the best one I've heard for not having term limits. All right. Well, it is past 10:15. Did you want to keep going? Originally, I had it slated to end at 10:15, but
no, I don't need to keep going.
All right.
It's fine to keep listening to Sam Cedar, but I don't know.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right. Well, thank you for everyone that stopped by. Please remember to follow. If you're on YouTube, also send a like because I feel obligated to say that shit. Also check out Squid at Deadliest Squid, both on Twitch and YouTube. He also does stuff, and you should definitely go check it out.
Thank you. Check it out, please.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.